was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hi, folks. It's Friday morning. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Welcome this Friday morning to the program. Now, let me give you, this is how you get my attention. I'll tell you how you can get my attention. You can text me anytime, all right? I want to say thank you right out of the box this Friday morning for all of you that study many topics we don't cover on the show, but I like to stay informed, read, and have a broad, take a broad view and look at everything. I want to thank you out there. There's so many things you send to me. Now, if you want to get my attention, you do what a viewer did this morning. You said, this is a good read with a cheap cigar. That gets my attention every time. So I will get to that. Thank you. Now, so I think I figured it out. And we'll see here, because my first hour this morning, so we're going into the Super Bowl. Did I tell you I'm your host, BKP? Did I tell you you're watching Voice of Rural America? BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Did I say good morning, Diane? Did I say I hope everybody's having a nice day? Trump is running. Oh, wait a minute. I try to get this. Okay, so it's Super Bowl weekend, right? It's Super Bowl weekend. And jokingly, you can't take a minute off in 2 weeks because you don't know what Trump's going to do next. All right? You don't know. And then when Trump, the president of the United States, I apologize for continually just throwing out Trump, but it works. The president of the United States, every time he does something, okay, now the media, they don't do that. Every time Trump or the president does something, I throw it on a whiteboard and I start trying to figure the mystery out. Okay, he said this. Did it mean this? Could it be tied to this? Where's he going with that? I do it on everything. That's why I like the guy. I enjoy it. Now, if I watch a mystery on TV, I have to look over and ask my wife who done it. I do. I'm serious. If I'm watching a mystery on TV, trying to relax, I will say, what's going on? My wife will pause the TV and said, you figure this out on the politics, but you can't figure out what's going on in this TV show? Nope. Help me out here. So here you go. Ready? It's Super Bowl weekend, and Trump is running a no-huddle offense. No-huddle offense. And I'm going to tie all this together today because I think I have it. Because the first hour is basically me, right, going out on a limb. And I lead the league on going out on a limb, but I'm going to give you some things to think about and ponder. I love good pondering, okay? But I think I got it. And it's tied up yesterday. So, I watch the deep state corporate corrupt media, which for years I have announced they are the deep state corporate corrupt media, right? And I watch them and every day, and I come on here and say, right, deep state corporate corrupt media. And I don't know if you understand or you've read Mockingbird, the Mockingbird media, CIA, blah, blah, blah. The Mockingbird, CIA media, the deep state corporate corrupt media. I say it every day. In fact, YouTube, which we're running on now, used to block me. I mean, they took me down for things just like this. But yesterday with USAID, right, number 72 and 73, we know for a fact, we've always known this, that it's the deep state corporate corrupt media. Always have. I've been correct for years. It's the way I announce it. Now, I've gone on programs and I have sit with people before and they cringe when I say that. A look behind the curtain has revealed a horrific truth. Nearly the entire mainstream media worldwide has been funded by the U.S. government under the USAID, from the BBC to the New York Times and Politico. At this point, it might be easier to find out who USAID is not funded in the media sphere. That would be me. We're going to talk about that media funding. There's two sides to that coin. Remember, flip a coin. This side, the other side. We'll talk. So, then number 73, right? So the deep state corporate corrupt, here's WikiLeaks. Wow, Elon said, wow, USAID was funding over 6,200 journalists across 707 media outlets and 279 media NGOs. 279, remember that one for later, including 9 out of 10 media outlets in Ukraine. Controlling the message, you say? Controlling the narrative. Hell, you say? Right? Thank you. If you're new to the show, I mean, we've put this out for years, okay? Many have, and we've been very strong and bold about it. We know that, right? So, according to the blah, 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 there you go. Foreign aid budget included $268,376,000 allocated in Ukraine, where 9 out of 10 media outlets on USAID funding. Now, if you'll notice, the left, there's not one Democrat coming to the podium thanking USAID investigation by Elon Musk for finding this. You would think one Democrat would come to the podium and say, thank you, Elon Musk, for this right here, because I don't want this to be wasted money. I want it to go back to my district to feed starving children in my district, okay? To help with rent assistance, whatever. And I'm not going liberal lefty on you, but I'm just saying, if the money's going out the door, where does it land? Ooh, that's interesting. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. So we know that for a fact, right? We know it. The corruption. Now, I hope you're hanging on. Do you have a seatbelt? Because there's days when BKP comes on, you got to buckle up. Get ready. I'm going to blow your mind. Ready? Are you ready? No, you're not ready. Anyhow, so Donald Trump is running, and I'm thinking about this every day. I ponder. I'm the ponderer, the chief. So every day I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing over here? What's over here? Why are you over here? Why are you over here? And then there's the old saying, you know the old saying, the cart before the horse? I'm wondering, like, DJT, are you kindly putting the cart before the horse? Should you not do this? I'm going to give you this in just a minute. Should you not do this before you do that? Are you doing too much of that and you should do this. I'm serious. Right now, it has everybody. He is running. Now I'm going to say this. He's running a no-huddle offense. Now, in football, as we get ready for Super Bowl, you script your first 20 plays or whatever. You come out, you want to catch a defense off guard, you script the first 20 plays, everybody's on board. Everybody's on board. Everybody knows the first 20 plays are going to be run like this. Bada bing, bada boom. You're going to try to score early, put the defense on its heels to where they never recover. Fact. This is very simple. It's a no-huddle offense. Now, the other thing about it is this is well scripted. All right? Well scripted. And they're going to come out, no huddle, and they're going to get set, run, set, run, set, run. We got that. Flood the zone, as Steve Bannon says. I'm calling it no huddle offense. Now, there's the other part of that no huddle offense once you have them back. It has to be well scripted and planned. So this is not chaotic. This is not chaotic. I'm going to give you today my Trump administration analysis for 2 weeks. This is my analysis. I think I'm pretty good with it. So you have to script the plays. All right? You don't throw a Hail Mary pass until there's only 2 minutes in the game left and you're behind. So Trump's not throwing Hail Mary passes to see what sticks. Nope, I can prove it today. I can prove it. Everything's well scripted. They have been down at Mar-a-Lago all the months. Even before, because they had internal polling, before the election and especially after the election, you heard that the transition, and I'll tell you why, it's all coming to me. I'm so excited this morning. And remember when Trump was elected, November, you got November, December, January, right? Almost 3 months. The media freaked out. What did they freak out? That Trump had not signed the transition paperwork. Remember that? Let's go back. Donald Trump today has not, as of today, they've not signed the transition paperwork, meaning they get computers, they get a budget, they get offices, they get access. When will he sign it? I tell you what, we will sign it, DJT says, when we have scripted our no-huddle offense and it's ready to go. Because we're not going in, we're not laying everything out and putting everything in front of you, the deep state corporate corrupt media, you, the deep state CIA. Everything is on the table. We know it now. It's opened up. So that's number one. So this plan is a plan and it's well scripted. That's the way they're running it. This thing has been scripted out. Well, what is Elon Musk? When will Elon Musk stop? How far will Donald Trump let Elon Musk go? Donald Trump knows every move he's making. He's not caught off guard. I'll tell you who is caught off guard in just a momento. But not Donald Trump. Some people are caught off guard, not Donald Trump. Elon Musk is not catching some. Some in the inner circle are concerned about what's going on. Not Donald Trump. Now, so we're running a no-huddle offense, and we're moving fast, and it's well scripted. I'm going to give it to you. Ready? I enjoyed this because CNN, even Casey Hunt, was trying to get her head around this. Give me video 5.
5 a.m. here on the East Coast. A live look at the Washington Monument. Beautiful shot, Washington, D.C. on this Friday morning. We made it to Friday, the end of, is this the third week of the Trump administration? The second one? I think so. Good morning, everyone.
Even Casey Hunt is like, what day is it? What day is it? How long has he been in there? They're freaking out. Catching them off guard. Now, ready? Because I don't think you're ready. Now, the second thing I want to share with you, you have heard, and we're going to talk about Kash Patel. We're going to talk about Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, and RFK Jr. We're going to talk about that. we are going to explain what's going on, where those nominations stand. We're going to talk about Pam Bondi and what she is doing. But I brought to you yesterday, and many in the media have not discussed this in depth as your host, all right? Right here. I'm going to give you something else. Give me number 18. Now, I told you yesterday in the show, as I'm piecing this together on the whiteboard, all right? Trump budget nominee tells senators 2020 election was rigged. What? What? He did what? Give me number 19 and then go back to this, or 20, or 18, 19, and then go back to this one, all right? So here is I talked about this yesterday. Democrats used their 30 hours of debate continuously going after this guy right here, Russell Voigt. Now, Russell Voigt, White House budget director. White House budget director. So I said earlier, there's the old cart before the horse. I'm trying to figure out, and most Americans, is Trump throwing things against the wall? Or is this a methodical plan? And it really wasn't till this morning, last night and this morning, when it was unveiled to me, and I know some people might laugh, but when I wake up in the morning, layers start coming off of things, because this is my alone spot. And this morning I was like, it's all checking off in line. So this guy right here, you heard Project 2025 all the way through. They went nuts over it. The American people didn't fall for it. They didn't care. Actually, the American people did their own research. What I love about most Americans is Donald Trump is amazing at, and his team is getting you to go it, Google it, whatever you do. Donald Trump will cause you to do an internet search faster than anyone out there. Anyone. He is brilliant when it comes to that. So you have to remember, I told you yesterday, I won't belabor it, spend a lot of time. Even remember the Democrat convention, they all took apart, and they came up there and they read an excerpt of 2025, how everyone would starve, die, and lose their jobs if 2025 was put in place. Remember that? Americans Googled it. Americans didn't care, and Americans moved forward. So, Russell Voigt, White House budget director, he is approved. OMB. Budget. The money. Right? So, number 18. This is a key. This is a key. And I'm getting ready to tell you something that my gut, and I have a gut, is telling me. You see, Russell said the 2020 election was rigged. Now, since elected, Donald Trump, this puzzle we lay out just like you would not believe. Since elected, Donald Trump has said, as president of the United States, since inauguration, not elected, since the inauguration, Donald Trump has said, as president of the United States, rigged multiple times. Multiple times. Right? My gut tells me that when you went to Mar-a-Lago and you went behind closed doors, and I don't care if Susie Wiles was sitting here and the Muskie, I love the Muskie, all right? The Muskie is sitting over here. I guarantee you, Donald Trump looked at you and said, before I appoint you, look me in the eye and tell me if you think the 2020 election was rigged. If you pause, stutter, or say, I'm not for sure. I don't think you got the job. So here's what I feel in my gut. Everyone going in a position is well aware and knows beyond the shadow of a doubt the 2020 election was rigged. That's a complete. Now, go back to 2016, Paul Ryan, the whole list goes on of the people that would never sign on to that in his staff. That's my belief. Now, let's move past the 2020 election rig because we're getting ready to break out everything. So it seems like it was just yesterday or this morning that Donald Trump, and I didn't see this on the networks. I love it when I don't see it on any network. Give me number 54. Trump takes sweet revenge on federal elections boss who challenged him over stolen election claims. In a response, Weintraub, who has overstayed her term on the Federal Election Commission for nearly 20 years, has said that the attempted firing is illegal and that she is going nowhere. Trump has embarked on a massive government makeover, firing and sidelining hundreds of civil servants and top officials and agencies in the first steps. Weintraub, appointed to be the Federal Election Commissioner, I guess, by George W. in 2002. Just wondering what's the deal there? Let me see what else I have. Give me number 55 if you could. Donald Trump fired Federal Election Commissioner Ellen Weintraub Thursday. Thursday. In response, Weintraub, who has overstayed her term for nearly 20 years, said, "I'm not going anywhere. We shall see." So one more. Let's go with this one, 58. And then Donald Trump released. This is 58. This is from the Post, right? The New York Post. Dem Federal Election Commission chair shares the termination notice she received from Trump. "You are hereby removed." And give me 59. And here it is. She shared it, showing the Dem world. Can you just look at her and tell she's a Dem? Is that wrong? Is that judgmental? Is that Dem profiling? Now, the White House, January 31st, 2025, the Honorable blah, blah, blah. Dear Commissioner Weintraub, you are hereby removed as a member of the Federal Election Commission. Immediately, effective immediately. Get and get out. Get and get out. So we'll leave it there. Now, tying all that together, we're going to take a break because we're going to come back. Wow. Now, they want you to believe USAID, give me 46. Can you tell me in this next video what stands? Oh, yes, USAID. Now, they want to lead you to believe that this causes our treasury to be vulnerable to a Chinese hack. Wonder if that happened just recently. This is what they want you to see is the USAID bags, right? They don't want you to see the Iraqi Sesame Street. All right, take that down. Now, I'm going to play a video. And this is what we break down next. Video 7.
money to all this out of U.S. aid, right? U.S. AID. It came out hundreds of just tremendous amounts of money, had nothing to do with anything. This is a terrible thing that was experienced, but we're catching them left and right. We're catching them.
Now, wait a minute. We're catching them. Am I reading something into this? We're catching them left and right? Maybe that's just me. When the Donald said we're catching them left and right. All of a sudden, the Republicans, we didn't know this was happening, sir. Did you know this was going on? No, we didn't know. We've only been here 28 years. We've only been here 16 years. I've only been here 8 years. I'm a newbie. Catching them left and right. We'll check into that as soon as we return. Good morning. I'll see you after this break.
Days Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Days Chevrolet Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. We have a very explosive 10 a.m., the Georgia Hour with BKP war. No, I'm not talking about battle. I'm talking about war, all-out war under the Gold Dome. Don't turn your back on anyone. If you're going to the Georgia State Capitol at any time for anything, I ask you, go in there, be cautious. Don't turn your back on anyone. Be careful of everyone you're standing around, what you say, what they may hear. It is all-out war under the Gold Dome. I will elaborate. This is Kemp. You have 3 major powers. You have that executive power. Then you have that power over in the Georgia State Senate. And then you have that power under the office of the Speaker of the House in Georgia. Wow. All right. So that's at 10 o'clock. I just got like, wow. It's really, tune in. Now, number 15. So we opened up this morning, putting all the pieces to the puzzle together. I have them. All right. And there's some things that I listened to, but I want to start with this. All right. Now, he voted for Pam Bondi. We'll get into this a little deeper later when we talk about nominees and where they stand. We will do that. I have met with most of the cabinet nominees and have carefully watched their confirmation hearings. After considering what's at stake, I have voted against moving forward to confirmation of Ms. Galbert and Mr. Kennedy, and I will be voting no on their confirmations. So he gave you, here's what he's trying to do, is he gave you Pam Bondi, and he wants to be able to go through Pennsylvania and say, look, I gave you Republicans this one. I voted for some others. You know, I'm using a well thought out constitutional, my constitutional obligation to review, and I can't vote for him. Anyhow, Fetterman in Pennsylvania, you have to flood the zone on his phone calls. All right. Now, the thing that concerns me I will jump over into this is he laying the groundwork? Is he laying the groundwork knowing they won't be confirmed with Republicans? Now, there's a little thinking here that I've got to start wheels turning. Remember, when he voted for Pam Bondi, it was 54, right? 53 Republicans, that's what we have, including the head the guy that has the head wound, Mitch McConnell, and then John. Now, if there's something here I want to lay out, okay, if he is hearing, so start thinking about this over the weekend, if Big John, the Neanderthal, I like the guy, but if Big John is hearing down the hallway that these two nominees are going to be a 50-50, he can't be labeled under the Democrats who is the tiebreaker that put him in. So there's a lot of ways to read these tea leaves. One, John knows they're not getting confirmed. Or two, it's 50-50, and John doesn't want to be 51. If it's going to be 50-50, then let who? Let J.D. Vance break the tie, not me, a Democrat. So life could be miserable if I'm the one that breaks the tie to put him in. So a lot to think about, but call John. Now, moving right along. So we know, we talked about this. Russell is in. I want to give you just a couple. Oh, by the way, Politico has released a statement. We'll go into that in just a moment. We'll go into Panama Canal. We'll look at that. But give me number 74. Diana wants 74. And then I had another one with him that I want to talk about. Russell is in. Voigt wants to dismantle the deep state as he takes office. It's already happening. I wonder if the OMB will help the Muskie, right? It's exactly right. Exactly right. Let's see. I might have another one here. That was what, 74? I have that one. Let's see if I had another one really quickly. Let me see. I don't know. Here it is, number 53. I want to run that one. Thank you, Diane, for the jump around. Voigt wants to dismantle the deep state. He's OMB. Project 2025 architect is confirmed to lead the Office of Management and Budget. Protest. Controversial Project 2025 co-author Russell Voigt. He's been confirmed. He's even gone as far to say the 2020 election was rigged. So take that down. Now, USAID. So I told you earlier, I was looking for Elon Musk is the first time that Donald Trump could say, if you don't move our way, we will primary you. And it's not that I'll just endorse your opponent. I'll also send him a check. You see my autistic son over here? That one, all I got to do is say Mars. And he goes like that. All right? That's it. Boom. It is a different ballgame. So I'm thinking, Trump, why are you going this direction? Why are you going this direction? Now, people are saying, well, we should work on the tax cuts. We should work on legislation. We should get this first. But let's go with the USA. Oh, don't forget, we will get into it just in time. Bird flu. If they kill the chickens and eggs go up, what if they kill the beef? What if there's fear in the beef market and it goes up? And you have a mother of 4 standing there saying, I can't afford eggs or even hamburger for my children. And you capture that and put it out there. All right. Well, it would fit. I mean, this cutting USAID is killing people, starving people to death. So the bird flu just in time. So USAID, let's go through this first, all right? Because they never talk. No one has ever come to the podium and said, hey, by the way, We're finding all this stuff. So they are running the narrative, and we'll start here. Give me number one. We're going to go one at a time, Diane. Number one. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com, a true conservative. Yes. Number one, Elon Musk's takeover is causing a rift in Donald Trump's inner circle. Now, remember this Chiron, a rift. Remember that in the inner circle. It's part of the puzzle that we will be putting together. We're hearing there's a rift. Number two, there could be a collision course coming here at some point, they said, when asked if there's a brewing freakout over Musk in Trump world. He's getting too big for his britches. Why, now they done got the Muskie. He's in the britches category. He's getting too big for him. And there could be a collision course coming on the inner circle. So there's a couple strategies running here. Do everything you can to run all the interference you can to try to divide Elon Musk and Donald Trump. You got to bring them down. You got to get them to be mad at each other. You got to make Donald Trump think that Elon Musk is outshining him. That you got to make Donald Trump think that Elon Musk is a shinier coin and Donald can't handle that. Oh, yeah, this is a strategy. All right, so stay with it. Number three, Elon Musk's takeover is causing a rift. Donald Trump's inner circle. We'll get to that one in a minute. Here's one. Number six, GOP lawmakers are already annoyed by Trump's chaotic governing style. No, they're not. It's not chaotic. It's well planned. Well planned. Laid out. GOP lawmakers are already annoyed. No, they're not. I'm going to explain that. Remember, I'll throw this in just so you're the left and right. We're catching them left and right. Pay attention to that. I'm going to get it to you. All right. Oh, we do this every day. Number seven, the shock and awe. You got to have the shock and awe. Okay. Now, we're going to come back to this one. I know I'm jumping around. Number 10. I really wish I had a whiteboard and I had all of these graphics up here so you can see all of them at one time. I could point to them. GOP tension on Trump's agenda bill grows as Senate diverges from the House path. What's going on there? I got to get to that one in a minute. Fetterman. We'll get to that one in a minute. We'll go there. Getting close. CDC. All right, 21. USAID is to be reduced to about 290 foreign service officials and civil servants. Now, they're going to go from, 10,000 people to 290. 290. All right, USAID. Number 22. Now, these are the graphics you see. You don't see the Iraqi Sesame Street, right? New York Times, Trump administration to lay off nearly all USAID agency staff. Look at the children. They were so happy when the little canoe brought in their rice and they could put it on their heads and walk through the village. Oh, my God. Give me video 2. No time like the present.
No, he's just stopping it on his own. And this is going to cause people.
Oh, that's my mistake. That was the correct one. I made a mistake. Mark that down, everybody. God knows I made a mistake. Give me video 2.
No, he's just stopping it on his own. And this is going to cause people, American people, millions and millions of American people to be severely hurt and to go hungry, to go homeless, and in some cases to die.
Wow. Hungry, homeless to die. They're falling over in the streets. I mean, this is unreal. They're going to go hungry, homeless to die. All right, so now Samantha Powers, okay, which I can't wait for her to go to prison, right? Give me video 4.
This is a disaster, not just from a humanitarian standpoint, from the standpoint of all the beneficiaries who may in fact die.
They may in fact die. They may die. Do you realize? Now, we know we funded 9 out of 10 USAID media organizations in Ukraine, right? Now, those kids, the people that are dead over there in Ukraine, you remember when Trump said, I just want to stop the killing? That messed them up, right? So, I'm going to get back to the employee buyout. Let's see. I don't want to get to that yet. So let's go with this. Morning Joe. And I know you don't like, let's go to Morning Joe. I want you to get just a handful of all the fear. Video 13.
That are still sort of guessing and curious exactly about what's happening. And the speed by these changes are taking place with really no organization, with no game plan. It's extraordinarily dangerous. These governmental systems opened up and opened up in a way that will allow China, allow Russia, allow Iran, allow our foreign adversaries to possibly gain access to these systems. After layer after layer after layer of security could just be gutted. That's one thing. I want to say another thing, though. And I find it a curious, John Heilman,
When will these people be put in prison? When? When will they be marched out, whether you like it or not, and put in prison for lying, manipulating, the corruption? Right? Layer after layer, what they're doing. Now, you got to remember, Elon Musk, the Muskie and the Dodgers, okay? The Muskie and the Dodgers playing the deep state tomorrow night, first pitch, 7:35, right? What they're doing in Treasury. Do you realize what is happening could expose us? I want number 70. Could expose us. I mean, we have layers and layers of security. Are you meaning like when the Chinese hacked and accessed thousands of Treasury files, including Yellen's officials told? You mean when the Chinese hacked Treasury and other law enforcement officials told lawmakers Wednesday that the Chinese hacked. Now, Wednesday, this goes back to January 15th. Just as she was leaving? Wednesday, that Chinese hackers gained access to more than 3,000 unclassified agency files as part of a cybersecurity breach last year. It came out in January. Last year. According to a person in the room for classified briefing, officials told lawmakers that the hackers accessed a small number of unclassified files belonging to Janet Yellen. So the Treasury Secretary, with all the layers and layers of security, last year, Janet Yellen, before Elon Musk gets there, before Scott Bassett, is that his name, gets to Treasury, before they start looking at USAID, was hacked. But now they are grasping at straws. in thin air. They're reaching up. What can we get next? People will die. People will go hungry. What are we going to do? They'll go as far as to tell you that why the Chinese could hack the Treasury. You mean like the 9 or 10 or whatever it was, look it up, of communications companies and world communications companies that they hacked last year? Something like that? Something like our own Treasury? You know, here's what I want. I want the Chinese to attempt to fly a spy balloon, and I want Donald Trump to take his autistic son out on the balcony of the White House and let him shoot it down. All right, so moving right along. Now, so let's go into a little more, because we're going to lay out why Trump is allowing them to bounce off the wall, and the left and right. Stick with the left and right. So, video 14. What would Jesus do? If Jesus, let's bring in Jesus. Video 14.
To spread that message at the same time you're destroying PEPFAR. At the same time, you're destroying all these other aid efforts that were actually inspired by religious organizations and presidents' belief in Jesus Christ and the need that we needed to help the poorest among us. So, interesting time to be delivering that message. Let's hope, again, a page is turned, hope springs eternal. Let us hope that the two sides can figure out how to get along, and that starts by one side not calling the other side godless heathens. Just a suggestion. Just a suggestion. That may not.
What would Jesus do? And then there's always these employees. I think, give me this one, Diane. Right? By the way, the Panama Canal, throw number 64 up. Let's just throw this in the mix, right? Because we don't have any Chinese taking over the Panama Canal, but this is 2018, and that's Xi Jinping's, right? That's 2000. Donald Trump threw out the Panama Canal. Top members of the Chinese Security Service escort the car of Chinese leader Xi Jinping as he leaves what is that, the docks? I don't know the name of those docks in the Panama Canal in Panama City in 2018. So the guy visited the Chinese docks or Panama. You can't make this up. When are these people going to go to prison? We've got to put them in prison. All right, so moving right along, take that down. I was looking for something, Diane, and give me number 27. Don't forget bird flu coming to a neighborhood near you. 65,000 have taken 3% of the workforce. They've taken the deal. Right? There's pushback. A judge is pushing it back till Monday. So we'll show you a couple more graphics on that. Now, one more crying. All right, before we pull it all together, we are going to rope this all together. You know how I like to do it in our next segment. But, it's not until it's easy to say. Video 11. Wait a minute. If you're sitting at home and you don't have to go to the office, video 11.
President Trump, and I'm sure are quite happy to see these changes. They see the government as bloated. They feel some of their colleagues are not as efficient as they should be.
Yeah, but would they assign themselves as part of the bloat? It's easy to say government's bloated until you can't pay your mortgage because you got laid off.
That's true. And I think some of these federal workers, I've had a few people.
It's easy to say it's bloated until the government no longer pays your bills. Well, hell, you say. All right, couple more graphics, and then we are going to get to the left and right. All right, seriously. Don't forget, you have the flu. We got that. Bird flu, your regular flu. Got a little COVID out there. So let's see where we're at. Got the CDC just in time. Now, 21 USAID is reduced to 290. We showed you this a minute ago. Here it is, number 24. How long can Trump-Musk relationship last? They're trying to do everything. This is well planned. I will explain that. Well planned. Number 25, will layoffs end life-saving work? Why people are dying. Oh my God. Right? Now, I like this one. Number 26, because this is where Trump is at the prayer breakfast yesterday, National Prayer Breakfast. And this is the podium he's standing behind when he says left and right. We're going to get back to that in a minute. Number 28, on edge. Number 29, Samantha Powers, on edge. See what else I have here. We'll get to the bird flu. Number 36, Samantha Powers, USAID. Trump administration to slash USAID staffing from approximately 10K to 300. Number 37, USAID head responds to Trump's efforts to dismantle agency. Now, what you don't have, okay? Now, I'm watching for this. They may present it. So, you know Joe Scarborough, and you know CNN and ABC and CBS, CIA, CBS, and Margaret Brennan. You know all of them would be running the world leaders and the pictures of people starving and dying in the street if they had them. That's right. Watch what happens in the next couple of days, because what they're going to do is start encouraging some world leaders in Africa and other areas to come out and make a statement how children are starving or whatever. That's coming, but it hasn't happened yet. It's coming. Watch and see. All right. So, we'll throw this one in a minute. Let me put this up in a minute. All right. I got to have that one before break. Oh, I love full. Let's see. We'll do that one over the break. We're going to do that one after the break. The rift in the inner circle. Give me number 45. Joe and Minka, U.S. to be cut. USAID to be cut to 290. They want you to believe that this is the picture, number 46, right? This is all the pictures they will show you. Again, remember, not a Democrat has come to a podium that I'm aware of anywhere and thanked Elon Musk for the fraud and exposure that's going on. I mean, a Democrat could actually go to the podium and say, look, I support transgender. And if you want a transgender to be in an opera in a hula skirt, do it in my district. Don't send it to South America. I don't want my transgender money going to South America for what is it, an opera, a transgender opera down there. Give me the money. No, not even a blink. Mm-mm. Now, let me say this. What we're not finished with and is working on now is the laundromat circle on the accounts it's coming back into. Yes, you will start seeing somehow, some way through AI, all right, AI, Elon Musk, they're going to start working on you see it went out here. But once it went through the sifter, you know what I mean? Like when you're sifting out all the accounts it went in. They're working on that now. That's why we're catching them left and right. Starting to pick that up, right? So, number 47, the dictator of engineering. All right, 49, Politico. And I want to bring this up because Politico had a lot of this one really hit hard. Politico, 8.2 million, and there's more. But Politico came out and made a statement, which I find very interesting. I like interesting, if that's my choices. Okay. Where's it at? I got it here. It's coming. You just relax. Stay off my back. Now, Diane, give me the... So they don't want to talk about this. We get to play number 71. You see the rice, 20 million for Sesame Street in Iraq. Okay. 56 million to boost terrorism in Egypt and Tanzania. Did I get that correct? Tanzania? 40 million to build schools in Jordan. Okay. 11 million to tell Vietnam to stop burning trash. Hey, stop it. I'll do that. Give me 25 grand. I want 25 grand for that. All while our borders were open and American families were hurting. Promote. We have the Sesame Street in Iraq. Okay. So you have lists, long lists. Here we go. We put this up earlier, 73. The media, 6,200 jobs. Now, Politico comes out. We got to take a break. Politico comes out, number 75, and they make a statement. Note to our readers. Okay. Note to our readers. Politico has been the subject of debate on X this week. Some of it has been misinformation, some tricky words, misinformation. And some of it has been flat out false. Let's set the record straight. Oh, that's the trusted source. A note to our readers from the CEO here at Politico, editor-in-chief John Harris, and a guy's name I can't pronounce with 9 syllables. We've been the subject. Some of it's been outright false. Politico is a privately owned company. We have never received any government funding, no subsidies, no grants, no handouts, not a dime in 18 years. Millions of people around the world read our journalism and in newsletters. It is supported by advertising and sponsorship. I'm going to dig into that. But now we get down here to the bottom. Politico Pro is different. Oh, I see. There's Politico, there's Politico Pro. Politico Pro is different. It is a professional subscription service used by companies, organizations, and yes, some government agencies that subsidize millions of people around the world. Read our journalism on Politico.com. Politico Pro is different. It's different. You got it all wrong. I know Politico sounds the same. Just saying. So they released a statement. Now, I'm going to show you this. They're nervous. I have never, give me number 14. I watch every morning, and this young man here, Reese Gorman, notice political reporters, a nice young man. He's to the left. I mean, what are you going to do? They're all raised that way. They're raised by a pack of deep staters. What are you going to do? If you were born into the deep state, raised by the deep state, and they put the money in your pocket, that's just my opinion. What are you going to turn out to be? So Reese, I have watched Reese for a couple years, okay? He will come on, he'll do a segment on MSNBC, he'll do a segment on CNN. He has done several with Casey Hunt. But something caught my ear this morning, and as you well know, the regulars, I have a trained ear. I know. You may laugh, but I do. Something caught my ear this morning when he came on. So I said, this is interesting. Where's it at? I have it here somewhere. Video 9.
Joining us now, politics reporter for the nonprofit news organization Notice, Reese Gorman. Reese, thanks for joining us.
Politics reporter for the nonprofit organization Notice. Did you hear that? That's the first time that this young man that I'm aware of has ever been introduced, affiliated with a nonprofit. First time. I think that's very important. They are a nervous wreck. You got CBS, ABC, you have USAID uncovering all this stuff that includes the corrupt media. So before we go to break, one more time, because now we're going to come back and answer this. Give me, I like the CNN. Let's go with the CNN video 6 until I come back.
We're catching them left and right. We're catching them to a point where they don't know what.
We are catching them left and right. So remember, there's as many Republicans up there that are in back rooms right now saying, when are they going to find the accounts that it went to in our family, our friends, our neighbors, our brothers, our sisters? You think Biden is the only crime family in America out of the swamp? We're catching them left and right. I promise when we come back, we narrow everything down to left and right. Take a break.
Days Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Days Chevrolet Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. So now let's tie a rope around all this and pull it together. One, let me say how much I appreciate you sending me graphics of other USAID corruption list. Thank you for the list. I'm compiling them. I appreciate it. We could do a 6-hour show, and thank you very much. You're very helpful. Second, Elon Musk. Now, we're going to tie all of this together, right? USAID, they're bumping off the walls. We have the first 2 segments. We have segments for the last 2 weeks. We have followed every move Trump has made, protecting girls' sports, one thing right after another. And I've said, are there some things that are the cart before the horse? So we have the Laken-Riley Act, Laken-Riley Act that Trump signed, that several Democrats voted for. But the big one, the tax cuts, the big bill, 2 bills or 1 bill. Can Trump get it through? Now, it's tight in the House, and it's tight in the Senate. And can he get a bill in the House over to the Senate and get cloture, or whatever it's called, the 60 votes to get an up and down? You got to have 60 votes to close the debate, to bring it to the floor for an up and down, unless it's under what's called Reconciliation Act. That's like a mulligan in golf. You get 1, boom, 50 votes straight up. So we'll get into that. But why would Trump not come into office? Why would Trump not come into office and go for that first? Why wouldn't he just say, look, Elon, I want to get all this done. I want to do everything we said, but pause for 30 days. Let me get my confirmations in place. Let me get my cabinet in place. Let me get a bill on the table. I don't want to expend my political capital. So a lot of people thinking like that. And then there's people thinking that I believe, and one of our good viewers here, great individual, sent me a poll that says that Elon's polling is crashed with Americans. And that's not true. That's not true. If you look at the way Elon's being, if you send out a poll and say, Elon Musk may delay your Social Security check next month, How does that make you feel? Do you like him involved in good? No, hell no. So there's a lot out there. I don't trust the way they spin up and whoop up the polling into a frenzy. So I'm not going for the Americans now think Elon Musk should not be involved in government. I'm not going for that. I do think there's a nosedive, but it's all orchestrated and set up. That's one. Two, I told you before, this is the first time that Donald Trump was able to say, oh, by the way, look it up. Mark Zuckerberg was at the White House yesterday. Look it up. The Zuckerberg was there. Right there. Right after the Doger left. And the Muskie got in a cab. He has a Uber. Uber. Or maybe he uses Lyft. Don't want to discriminate. Moving right along. So this is the first time, really, a senator. It's the first time a senator, right? If you go in and say, look, if you don't vote this way, you don't support this way, I will send a primary challenger after you. Well, you have 2 senators in a state. Well, I'm not up for re-election. And then you have the other one that is up for re-election odds. And that senator comes running over to your office and says, look, you may not be up for re-election, but I'm up for re-election. And, you got to help me out here. So it's a real, this time they have the money. They don't just find candidates to go up against congressional seats. They don't just find other people to go up against a senator. They go up, Trump endorsement, and a bank account. From who? The Muskie. Provided by the liberals as they buy a Tesla. Now, so right and left. Remember that. So I will play 2 videos. And let's go with, because here's the thought. Well, let's go with video 3, first of all. This is a Democrat, but video 3.
Telling you anything privately? Is there any concern here?
Well, the thing that's remarkable is that you see congressional Republicans buying into this bogus narrative that Elon Musk is just going in and rooting out fraud and waste, and that's a good thing. That's Congress's job. You can root out for waste, fraud, and abuse, but Congress has appropriated this money. So all of these Republican members of the Senate and the Congress are allowing and enabling Elon Musk and Donald Trump to take all of their own power in Congress. What is the point of them being there if they're just bending the knee to Donald Trump? They're not asserting Article 1 of the Constitution.
Well, a couple things are happening. You are ringing the phone off the hook in their district or in their state for these senators. That's one. But it's their job. That's a novel thought. Well, it's our job to find waste and abuse. Well, hell, you say. It's your job. So why does Elon Musk even need to get there? And by the way, we have Republicans. We've got Mitch McConnell that's been, Mitch McConnell was the majority leader at some times. We've had Paul Ryan. We had Mike Johnson for a couple of years. Then we had the guy, the smoking and drinking guy. What was his name? John Boehner, right? I mean, how did these, what you're telling me is these omnibus bills where we were promised 12 appropriations bills. You tell me these omnibus bills, there was little things slid in there like, a study to find out if shrimp could walk on a treadmill, all the above, right? Was that in there? So, first of all, don't give Republicans a pass. No, don't give them a pass. Elon Musk is going in there and his team, and they're going through every one, and Republicans are coming out. So he says, what does he say? Well, Are Republicans privately saying so? No, let me tell you what Republicans are privately doing. S-H-I-T, is it a double T-I-N-G? There depends. They're huddled up in corners. Oh, hell. When's that cash going to get back to me? What are they really up to? I'll explain, right? Well, all we see are Republicans buying in. They have no choice. They got to buy in. Well, Republicans are just allowing Elon Musk. Hey, listen over there. If you don't let Elon Musk in, we'll start releasing where maybe you have gotten payments back home. Maybe your sister's doing real well. That's a Nancy Pelosi move. I will tell you this. That's a Nancy Pelosi move. Nancy Pelosi called you in the office when she was the Speaker of the House and say, I need you to vote for this bill. And you say, Nancy, I really don't want to. Oh, yeah, I know you don't want to. Oh, by the way, isn't your daughter up for that big promotion? Right? That's what I heard. She's got a big job. I hope she gets that promotion. Now, I need you to vote for this bill. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi had her team go through your entire staff and go through your entire family, find out where they worked, where they were looking for a job. Isn't your son graduating this spring with a blank degree? I tell you what, if he could get on over here, is he interested? Oh, by the way, I need you to vote for this. And Nancy never said, by the way. She said, damn it, you will vote for this. Or, there you go. Now, so moving right along, how it works, Republicans, every single thing you're seeing. So let's go with the catching them left and right. We're going to wrap this up. And why Trump went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go with this now. Video 6. Yeah, video 6. We'll run them again.
We're catching them left and right. We're catching them. We're catching them to a point where they don't know what the heck is going on. They can't believe they're getting caught. And I have great respect for the people that are doing it. Elon Musk is helping us on it. And he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
All right, let's bring in Jack.
We're catching them left to right, all the way to the point they don't know what the hell is going on. Left and right is big. One more, MSNBC. Video 7.
Give money to all this out of U.S. aid, right? U.S. AID. It came out hundreds of just tremendous amounts of money, had nothing to do with anything. This is a terrible thing that was experienced, but we're catching them left and right. We're catching them. We're catching them to a point where they don't know what the heck is going on. They can't believe they're getting caught. And I have great respect for the people that are doing it. Elon Musk is helping us on it. And he's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's pretty good at it.
That was President Trump yesterday riffing about USAID during the National Prayer Breakfast. It comes as his administration plans to make massive cuts to the agency's workforce. The question now is, will the layoffs essentially end life-saving aid to people around the world? And you heard the president praise Elon Musk moments ago, but there's new reporting that the world's richest man is creating a rift inside Trump's inner circle. Surprise, surprise. But the question is, how long can the Trump-Musk relationship actually last?
A rift. A rift. So 43, let's get to the rift side, catching them left and right. Now, that's 43, right? And this is 42. And 41. We'll stay here. So, all right. Now, this is where we wrap it up. Remember Trump's first administration, where before he could get up from the chair to go to his next Diet Coke and Big Mac, it was already leaked out. Remember that? Remember where Trump's last administration, it was like a colander that you poured water in, the leaks, right? Remember that? Remember the last administration, everything was set up to go against him at the appropriate time. No, not this time. Not again. Happened to me once. So this is the rift, and we're going to now break down and wrap up everything we've been talking about. Ready? Are you ready? Give me video 12, Diane. Prepare yourself.
And also the fact that Trump is basically leaving them in the room physically and metaphorically saying, figure this out and I'll come back for the win when you have it.
I definitely think that there is some frustration. I wrote a story this morning that basically laid out that there's a lot of they're upset with the lack of communication that's going on from the White House. For example, the federal aid freeze. Trump was at Doral on Monday, the night that the freeze happened, speaking with House Republicans. And he didn't mention this once. And then they find out later in the night, some went to bed, found out the next morning that he had froze this federal aid, and they're having to answer questions. There's no heads up. There was no kind of talking points provided. And so they're having to defend to constituents as well. We're asking them about this as well. Of
course.
And they don't have the answers of what's actually going on because you're not getting heads up on this kind of stuff. When Trump's Gaza comment, that took everyone by surprise, even some of the White House that's been reported. So all these things that he's doing, they're not getting a lot of heads up. So members have complained and are like, hey, we need you to give us some, if not just a heads up, maybe some talking points after you do it so we can at least tell our constituents what's going on, what's happening.
Help us.
So, wait a minute. Are you telling me that everything is taking place and on Monday night, Trump is with the entire upper echelon of the Republicans and he says nothing? And Monday morning, Tuesday morning, there's a federal freeze. Are you telling me he didn't give them all a heads up? Are you telling me he didn't send out talking points? You see, let me tell you something. Every one of these pieces of garbage, and that's it, they're pieces of absolute garbage. Every single one of these pieces of garbage up there, well, I say every single one. I do like Andrew Clyde. I got to be careful. I have to be careful. There's a couple. It's so narrow, I forget, okay? But for the most part, these little weasels run up and down the hall all day. It's a weasel train. It just, they're up and down the hall all day long. Now, all for the most part, except for like Tim Burchett, I think that's his name out in Tennessee. But they want to float something out. Psst, hey, come in here. You didn't hear it from me. I'm an unnamed source, but I just got these talking points from the White House. Take a look. I'm going to lay them on the corner of the desk. You got it? Talking points from the White House because we're getting ready to do something. No. Republicans caught off guard. Trump not sending out the talking points. Trump not telling them the next move. Now, what happens? You see a true reaction. You truly see their reaction because they're dumbfounded if they don't know what the hell to do. It's in Georgia. Speaker John Burns sends out the talking points, your state representative. If the media walks up and says, hey, what do you think about this bill that's coming on the floor? Hey, did you get something? No, I can't comment on that. And then they all run in a room. Why didn't we get talking points? What's going on? What are they really doing? What are they up to? Are we going to be okay? Are we going to jail or are the Democrats going to jail? I'm serious. This is my feeling it's going on. That's why Trump is playing this like Jack Benny. For you kids out there, look up Jack Benny. I'm telling you, playing them like a fiddle. They're all running around. They're following down the hall. I don't know. They're calling into the White House. Susie, what's her name? And Wilds and the rest of them. Hey, could you not tell us? Oh, that's part of the plan. Let me give you one more. That was 12. Let's see, that was 12. What's the other one? I had it here a minute ago. Oh, I'm going to give it to you right now. So they are bumping off the wall, all right, because they don't know what's happening and they don't know what's going on, and it is causing a rift inside. Trump is catching them left and right. So here's my opinion as I wrap this up, because I got 2 more segments I got to do before the 10 o'clock hour. Why? Now, so you're going to start hearing let me have this here, Diane. How are you today, Diane? Give me the shock and all number 7. I hope you're doing well. And this is my opinion. This is my opinion. All right. The timing is perfect for his last 3 nominees. Perfect. Hang tight here, Baba Louie. I got it. Number 40. So the House and the Senate are their own institutions. They're not real friendly. They're not. Senators, they feel they're the elite. Okay. They feel they're the elite. Senators are. And the House, you're just a lowly House member. Yeah, you're just a House member. There's 435 of you people. There's only 100 of us. We're an exclusive cigar and bourbon club. You're not in it. Anyhow, they think there's a major difference. So there is the 1 bill or the 2 bills you keep hearing about. Now, my opinion is I don't want to see this monster bill again, but I don't think they'll get 2 bills. I only think Trump gets 1 good shot at this. So I'm not for sure where we're going to go on this. But that being said, why is everything else happening the way it is? So let's play this and then we'll come back. Let's go to video 20 and talk about tax cuts.
So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. No tax on tips, which is obviously a very public campaign promise the president made. No tax on seniors' Social Security. No tax on overtime pay. Renewing President Trump's 2017 middle-class tax cuts. Again, these are the president's priorities. Adjusting the SALT cap. Eliminate all the special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners. Close the carried interest tax deduction loophole. Tax cuts for Made in America products. This will be the largest tax cut in history for middle-class working Americans. The president is committed.
Number 10. So he's going to roll this out, right? GOP tension on Trump's agenda bill grows as Senate they leave the House path. That one throws me. Anyhow, are you telling me it's possible that Trump has what we now call a Doge Elon Musk file on the Republicans? Could Trump have a come in here? Are you going to vote for my tax plan? Are you? Let me see. And what district are you in? Yes. Hold on just a minute. What district did you say you in? Okay. I want to look through your Doge file. What's that mean? I just want to look through your Doge file. I want to see. I want to look. Have you looked at your Doge file? I need you to vote for that tax plan. Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. I don't know. Could I be off? Could I be totally off? Could I be completely wrong? But I think, as they say, there's a method to the madness. I think the Doge is getting ready to come full circle with the OMB, with Russell Voigt, OMB, in there now. I think it's going to come full circle. And I think indictments, internal investigations, ethics charges, I think there's a lot at stake. You see, you can't unveil all this without saying you're closing in on the criminals. So let's go with this right before we go to break. CNN video 6.
We're catching them left and right. We're catching them. We're catching them to a point where they don't know what the heck is going on. They can't believe they're getting caught. And I have great respect for the people that are doing it. Elon Musk is helping us on it. And he's pretty good.
There's meetings all over the Capitol. They are circled up in rooms. What are they doing next? Who's doing this? What's he found? Where are they going with this? Like, is this going to make it over to Pam Bondi's office, the Department of Justice? Is there going to be an inquiry on some of this stuff? We're catching them left and right. Don't forget it, okay? The election in 2020 was rigged. Don't forget it. The deep state, corporate, corrupt media. We need them to go to git mode. Don't forget it. Take a break. We're going to come back. We've got bird flu. We have flu. We have Pam Bondi. We have cartels. And we also have to get in the confirmation hearings right after this. Take a break.
Days Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Days Chevrolet Jasper. Together, let's drive.
Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCar Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much, come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
You caught me, Diane. I give Diane the high sign to come back, and that's okay. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Probably about 10:05. We promise we will not run over just that much. 10:05, the Georgia Hour with BKP. You don't want to miss it. The war under the Gold Dome. Yes, the political war under the Gold Dome, about 10:05. You want to tune in for that. Now, that being said, Diane, I sent you a video. And just whenever, if you can get that video and put it up, I'd just love for people to see it. I thought it was pretty neat. So just go to it whenever you can get it and put it up. Now, while we're waiting for that, boy, do I have a lot going on here. What do I want to do next? Oh, let's see. The employee buyouts, we have that one. So you have Kash Patel, all right? And we said this morning, let's go with the flu, the bird flu. Just in time. So I just want to put this out here because it's important. And this is what they're setting this up. They're setting this up for, they're setting this up to go against RFK, all right, HHS. They're setting this up that, you can't have RFK in charge during a pandemic, but you can have all this USAID money going to the Wuhan via Fauci and Fauci getting a pardon. Wonder why Fauci got that pardon, by the way. So this is I love that one. Thanks, Diane. That was a montage. They're all screaming. Elon, all you gotta do is say Mars to Elon, and he goes, okay. You know, I think if Elon was video dancing, it would probably look like Elaine. All right, there you go. Now, so bird flu. So really quickly, we talked about yesterday, bird flu has been set up for how long? They killed 1 million chicks. No, chicks, all right? Now eggs are through the roof. Remember, what really resonates with mom or dad, but maybe mom, is the cash register, and eggs are 2 to 6, and they don't care what happened. Now, most Americans don't care what happened. If gas is $2.75 and it's $2.92, they don't care what happened. They want to know why, and that's a fact. If eggs are $2.75 and now they're $4.75, they don't care what happened. They just want to know why. And now, what about beef? And should we look at the bird flu and think about alternative food sources? I mean, I have to tell you, you and I out there, you and I, together, you and me, grammatically, is it me, I, whatever? But we'll go with that. We see the writing on the wall. We see the Bill Gates. We see what they've done, the direction they're going. But I have to tell you, most people running around today, so what you're telling me is this is going to taste, look like, smell, and you'll guarantee me, beyond the shadow of a doubt, this will taste like beef. Yes. You do know they tried to tell me egg beaters would taste like eggs, and I didn't fall for it. Yeah, but technology now. So they want you to find alternative food sources because you have these, bird flu and these other things, the diseases that could be out there in our livestock. Now that's a thought, right? So kill 1 million chickens, eggs are through the roof. I played you the video yesterday, right? Beef. Well, we may have to take down a cow or two. Are you talking about we got to take down Nellie? Yes. We might have to take down, give me number 34. So just in time, what we need to do is put you in total fear. Then hamburger, it could be next. The new bird flu fears. One flu deserves another. I'm going to show you. HHS secretary. Wonder if any of this is coming together at a time. Give me 32. And they got to go and they get to Vingupta, right? Is this Vingupta? Right. Second bird flu strain found in Nevada cows. No human cases linked with infected herds at this time. 6 dairy herds test positive for newer second strain of the bird flu. Man, what is going on here? So, what's happening in this world today could really mess up a stoner. Anyhow, a stoner, just 33. 6 dairy herds. There it is, the Sanjay. That's Sanjay Gupta. They brought in the Sanjay Gupta, right? What do we having happen here? Number 34, we may have to put down a couple cows in fear of. So give me the bird flu video 1, and then we'll go to the other flu, video 1.
Alarming turning point in the bird flu outbreak. Scientists say the virus is one key mutation away from possible human-to-human transmission. Good evening.
Wait a minute. One key mutation and 20? So what you're telling me is we could be one key mutation away from it jumping? And CDC is putting this report out? And it's possible that number 20, sorry. It's possible that funding could be cut. Health agencies told health agencies. Would that fall under HHS? Would that fall under RFK? Health agencies told to rank some workers as fear of layoffs grow. So what you're telling me is there could be layoffs. This is simultaneously. So CNN runs and they do their part last night and they run the bird flu and one mutation, jumping one mutation. But then this morning laid out, perfectly timed, is the CDC could have fear of layoffs. Layoffs? Are you saying layoffs at the CDC with the bird flu? Can't make this up. Now, so, and Department of Education, right? And Department of Education, CDC, where's the money going? Where's the money coming from? Bird flu. It's the perfect time. I think it would be the perfect time to run this story, number 11. So I think at this time, with USAID, intense flu season forces some schools to close. Why, hell, you say. Now, they are spending money cleaning and sanitizing schools. All right? Now, don't get this wrong. I remember a courthouse that somebody got $70,000 to spray Windex or, 409 on the desk. Seriously, right? They're in there. They got these little things. They spray everything down. They mist the room, but really all they're doing is using the same thing that you wipe your surface off with. That's a big contract. Let's go to number 12. Schools are going remote. Remote! 1,700 students, 200 staff members out sick. Intense flu season forces some schools to close. They're going remote. Now, I will tell you this. This is going to be controversial. I am not in favor of remote school days. Right? So there's no school. Your child will get an email say, this is a remote learning day. This is an online learning day or whatever they call it. An online learning day. All right? Just do it yourself. We'll put some... Number 13, flu closing schools. Intense flu season forces some schools to close. Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Iowa, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Georgia. Now, so let's roll the tape on the flu that is causing... Where it is, where's the flu tape? I had the flu tape. Where's it at? Where is my flu video? Let's see, that's how much. Oh, here it is. There you go, a deep cleaning video 10.
Were absent due to illness Monday. Photos showing masked maintenance workers deep cleaning classrooms near Cleveland.
Have you seen schools close due to the flu before?
No. Outside Cincinnati, Superintendent Kelly Spivey shuttered Edgewood City schools for the week.
We're seeing the influenza strand A. We're seeing the RSV, pneumonia, strep throat, all of it, and at a high rate. COVID as well.
The CDC says at least 250,000 Americans have been hospitalized with the flu this season. 11,000 have died. This late season surge catching New Jersey mom of 3, Gabrielle Heimerling, off guard.
I am surprised that 2 of my kids went down that fast. We haven't had the flu
in this House for years.
These numbers don't surprise you.
No. Doctors at Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus point out flu infections are still rebounding post-pandemic, while vaccination rates among kids fall, plummeting nearly 14% in 5 years.
We have to do better. And it's a hard time right now when it comes to vaccines. We know that, but we know they matter.
Thanks to
vaccines down, flew up, scared the hell out of you. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Now, is it cold and flu season? Yes. Did you notice how the superintendent had to add in COVID? Oh, yeah, by the way, COVID. By the way, don't forget. Don't forget COVID. Don't forget. So, just thought I'd throw that out there. You got your bird flu. You got your COVID. You got your regular flu. You got your vaccines down. You got you have to work from home. You have to stay home. All the above, just in time. So take that down. We'll get back to it later. That is one of those. Pay attention. Something's going on. Something's going on. Now, let's go with right here. I've got to go with this. What do I have left? Number 38, NCAA. I want to throw this up. Trump signed Protecting Girls Sports. We're going to talk about this in the Georgia Hour. 38, NCAA has released a statement. They've released a statement saying no biological boys can play in girls' sports. NCAA has put out a statement of a new policy following Donald Trump. All right. 48, we brought this up the other day, right? We've talked about this. Top secret U.S. spy plane is caught making mysterious trip to cartel stronghold. Yes, cartel stronghold. So let's roll through the cartel stronghold, number 66. I've told you this before. This is something I want you to keep an eye on. We'll go right in line. 66 is U.S. spy planes. We have spy planes. There's different deals going on with Mexico. All right. I have to tell you now, there's something different going on with Mexico. And Donald Trump has probably talked to the Mexican president and said, you'll help me take out the cartels or I'll do it alone. We know this very well. We say it on a daily basis. There's a reason that he signed an executive order saying, hey, you know what? Cartels are now a terrorist organization and the southern border is a state of emergency. That changes the powers. Give me video 16.
So let me ask you about the cartels. They've made a clear warning to you and to the United States that, we're going to escalate our violence. So now we're seeing not only Mexican troops after this deal that Trump made with Mexico's president, and also U.S. troops headed to the border. How are you going to utilize the military? We know what the military can and can't do domestically, but in a scenario like this, how do you plan on using the military? Could they get involved in the violence if the cartels strike?
Yes. And we expect them to. But the Mexican military, President Trump's able to get Mexico to put military on their northern border. That will certainly help. I think the cartels would be foolish to take on the military, but we know they've taken on the Mexican military before. But now we have the United States military on the border. We got the men and women of the Border Patrol. Do I expect violence to escalate? Absolutely, because the cartels are making record amounts of money. They're making record amounts of money in alien smuggling and trafficking of women and children and drugs. However, as we secure the border, which we've gone long ways to securing the border, crossings are down like 76%. We're taking money out of their pocket. They're not going to wait quietly, and that's why President Trump designated them terrorist organizations. I would send a warning to them. You heard a Border Patrol lady, you heard a soldier. The wrath.
I'm absolutely stunned because I do like Tom Holman. I think the world of Tom Holman. I have met him twice, interviewed him twice in length. He never changes. He never flinches. That's exactly the Tom Homan I have met face to face twice. Yes. Yes. And we expect them to. I've told you that from day one. When those executive orders, I said weeks ago, if you're new to the show, if you're not new to the show, I've told you it may take military action in Mexico. That's going to be a difference. We've gone over it here, how much money they make, drugs, smuggling, all the above. We know that the cartels have had a internal war, and I don't mean just of words, with the Mexican military. Yes, and I expect them to, right? Yes, and I expect them to. Number 69, we'll go there and leave it. And then I'm going to roll out some numbers really quick, Diane. I don't know where all these are at. There you go. Breaking Secretary of State Pete Hegseth. This was January 31st. Confirmed that the United States could now conduct special operations. We're running spy planes. We're running and picking up all their coordinates and setting everything up for when. Yes, and I expect them to. Special operation against Mexican cartels. It's going to happen. Now, as we wrap up for our Georgia hour, we got to get out. 62. Iran, a little something for you to remember. Number 62, Iran's first ever drone carrier warship in the Persian Gulf. They have a drone carrier warship in the Persian Gulf. Iran does. Number 63, as you know, they literally laugh at Trump about Panama Canal, knowing the truth, wondering what payroll these people on and how bad they hate this country. Decades-long Chinese influence in Panama Canal begins to unravel. And here you go, 64. This is a picture of 2018, right? December 3rd, 2018, Panama President Juan Carlos Vieira and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Rao attended the inauguration of Panama's embassy in Beijing. Panama has an embassy in Beijing. They have an embassy there. This is 2018. Top members of the Chinese Secret Service, Security Service escort the car of China's leader, Xi Jinping, as he leaves the docks there in Panama. You can't make this up. Trump knows. You're getting the facts. All right. Confirmations. All right. Kash Patel has been pushed out a week. Democrats can. All right. Number 17. Democrats can, on the committee, it's one of the rules, they can delay for a week. So for some reason, I think what they're doing is wanting to see everything Pam Bondi does for a week. So in the rules, they don't make the decision, but they can put up a delay, and they have in Kash Patel. So I think it's next Thursday is his confirmation. Now, give me number 16. Monday, February 10th, approximately 5:30, a roll call vote. Motion to invoke cloture on executive calendar number 18, Tulsi Gabbard. Now, what that means is, will they have the 30 hours of debate? Once they do cloture, then they can put it on the floor, and that is Monday at 5:30. So that's coming down the pike. So, and we need to keep up with what's happening with RFK. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to get into the deep end. We'll call it that. The war under the Gold Dome. Only here on the Georgia Hour when we return.
Day Chevrolet Jasper is North Georgia's business elite commercial truck giant. Box trucks, landscape trucks, flatbed and heavy hauling trucks. When you've got a job to do, we've got the commercial truck for you. And get a federal tax credit up to 100% of the purchase price. Hundreds of commercial trucks are all right here at Day Chevrolet Jasper. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
Welcome to the Georgia Hour with BKP, Monday through Friday. We try to get on here about 10 a.m. We post this segment every day on our Rumble channel, voiceofruralamerica.com. You're watching the Georgia Hour with BKP. So we do know, and this does pertain to Georgia, but we'll just run it. And you know what, Diane? I forgot to get a picture. Did I just send you 3? I am losing track here. Did you get 3 new pictures from me just now? Yes, you did. Do you know a picture I forgot to get? You know the picture of when Keith, whatever his name is, threw Colton Moore to the ground? Can you find that one? If you can, it's okay. I don't want you to know we got a lot to go over in the next hour. So, folks, let me just say this, because we have NGOs in Georgia, and we're going to talk about the war, the literal war under the Gold Dome. We're going to talk about how everybody loves Trump now. I mean, just like that. I mean, there's people that like Trump and are saying thank you to Trump, that just like that. So let me just say this before we get into the war under the Gold Dome in Georgia and the people that now like Donald Trump. The USAID, okay, they're USAID, and you're seeing them talk about all the people and the children that could starve and be homeless and even die, and the bags of rice stamped USAID on it around the world. You know, you got to remember there's the NGOs, the non-governmental organizations. So what they're doing now is they're tying the money from the USAID to the NGOs. And what you will see is a lot of these lawmakers all around the country with, I'll just use this for an example, nieces and nephews that are calling up and saying, well, are you telling me that I'm on the board of an NGO that will no longer be getting a payment? Oh, yes, you will see that. That's why the biggest freak out. You may not see the money come right back into X, but there may be nieces, nephews, sisters, brothers, cousins, moms, dads, wives, whatever, that are involved in these NGOs that get a lot of money. And then they get salaries, whatever. So we just thought we'd throw that out there. That's why it's really getting pretty ugly. Now, full steam ahead in Georgia, election season. So we talked about this yesterday, and we showed you this right here. We're going to get back into it because we're going to do a little timeline, right? And I just to show you a couple things. So remember yesterday, 96. Was it yesterday or day before? Day before, President Donald Trump, right? The day before, President Donald Trump, right, signed an executive order with Riley Gaines in the House, and Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones and the Speaker of the House, John Burns, both attended that. Now, all of a sudden, John Burns, he seems to really like President Trump. And somehow, Georgia House Speaker John Burns, all right, very bad man, very, very bad man. Somehow, Georgia House Speaker John Burns has gotten himself on the White House guest list. I mean, last week or week before last, was it week before last, whatever, when the Laken Riley Act was signed, John Burns was there, Speaker of the House of Georgia. Now, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, he has 50 states, 53, 54, according to Obama, but jokingly, he has the United States of America and our territories. So he's got a lot to do. Everything in Georgia is not on his mind. He has a staff that puts certain people on the list. So somebody, maybe unbeknownst to Donald J. Trump, keeps putting John Burns on the White House list. That's important. We need to figure that out. Second, he's up there, everything that happens. He's cheesing. He likes Trump now. I don't think he liked Trump enough to do any kind of investigation. I don't think he liked Donald Trump enough to actually make the corrections necessary in the election system in Georgia. But now, I'll take that political move all the way. So there's John Burns, Speaker of the House. Laken Riley last week, Riley Gaines this week, and no more boys and girls sports. So he's sitting next to Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. Now, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones is hopefully wanting to be the next governor of Georgia. All right? Jackson County, he was State Senator Burt Jones. He became Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones with an endorsement of Donald J. Trump. And now he wants to be the governor behind Brian Kemp leaving office. And they're sitting there together, smiling, knowing good and well they could care less. They could sit together there for a picture. But my sources say, don't you like to say that? My sources, plural, they're plural, say they both flew on, I heard charter. Both of them flew charter independently. That's what I heard. It's what I heard. Never know. I've asked somebody to do some investigating. So 2 times they go to D.C. and twice they can't fly together. War. All right. Now, but John Burns somehow gets on the guest list. So let's take that down. We'll start there. We showed you that. Now, in Georgia, we have a governor's race, and Burt Jones wants to be the governor. Now, Burt Jones said when the legislative session started, he asked people not to. He put out a statement, let's not campaign. Now, if you don't know how it works, the Speaker of the House does not put out legislation. The lieutenant governor does not put legislation out. What they do, that's not what they do. They don't sponsor their own legislation. What they do is they find some way to carry their legislation. I remember when Ralston used to find, I forget what's his name, would always carry his bills. Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle, I remember, Butch Miller, Senate pro temp at that time. Butch Miller would carry bills for him and so forth, right? So Greg Dolezal, my understanding is Greg Dolezal, State Senator Dolezal, has carried SB 1. SB 1. Now, SB 1, let's go with this one right here, and we're not going to confuse you. We're going to come back. I'm going to try to put all this together. I say it nicely, not to confuse you. Diane, could you give me number 79? So the Senate has this bill out there, and I'm just saying I'm going to run some coincidence. It's a coinkadink, all right? I like a coinkadink. So here's a little coinkydink there. The Georgia Senate approves bill banning trans girl women from female sports. That's the Senate bill. Now, the Senate bill was worked on. This transgender banning Senate bill was worked on a couple years ago. But it was held back for an opportune time. Maybe campaign season. You see, a couple years ago, when we all wanted this bill, we got nothing more than the GHSA, Georgia Sports, wait a minute, Georgia High School Sports Association, GHSA. So what we did is the only thing we could do a couple years ago is put some teeth, all right? Put some teeth to a bill and say the GHSA can make a rule, but not a law. So they, a couple years ago, go look this up, when the state Senate, a couple state senators were trying to make this happen, and actually, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones was and still is Lieutenant Governor, it wasn't allowed to come up. It wasn't allowed to be politically moved through at that time. But now, those same state senators that tried to do this a couple years ago, it was handed to Greg Dolezal to carry for Burt Jones. So let me just put this out here. This is how it works. And this is not anti-Burt Jones. This is just flat politics. So now Greg Dolezal is carrying SB 1 for the Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, and it can be Burt Jones saved girls sports in Georgia, and he can campaign on it. That sounds great, right? But is it upsetting anyone under the Gold Dome? Is it upsetting some people in his own caucus, the Republican Senate side? Is it upsetting some of them? Like, you know, I think you're grabbing some rewards. Just saying, this is politics, baby. That's what I talk. This is what I think out. So the Senate has this bill, SB 1, right out of the box, and yesterday it passed. It passed with 2 Democrat votes. And they rushed it. They rushed it to a vote yesterday. Why? All right, so let's back up. Now, we know last year, this is where you just pay attention, right? We know last year, was it May? That, go ahead, take that down if you could, Diane. We know last year in May that, the House of Representatives, the Speaker, John Burns, banned State Senator from the 53rd District, Colton Moore. We know that. And we know he banned him because on that day, they were acknowledging the Speaker and also going to name an addition, unveiling his portrait for the Capitol, Speaker David Ralston, that died, and also going to name the wing up here, the new wing of University of North Georgia after David Ralston. We know in May, I think it was May, then 53rd District Colton Moore went to the well and gave a 5-minute blistering speech going after David Ralston, even to the point where Burt Jones said, can't do that. Over in the House, John Burns banned Colton Moore, went after him, and said he can never walk on the State House floor again. Now, let me just tell you something and fast forward. These people don't lose control. They don't. Power is power, and they will run your ass over for the power. That's right. No, not the voter, the power, baby. So Burns got the power. The House is powerful. The Speaker is powerful. So we do that. Now we have a joint session on January 16th. We got a joint session. And well in advance, a couple days in advance, it starts bubbling up. Are they going to let State Senator Colton Moore go into the floor of the House? And the word is no. John Burns said no, he's banned. It bubbled up on that morning. He attempted to go in, and do you have that picture, or were you able to get it? And Keith Williams, Keith Williams, there he is. I wonder if he wrestled in high school. But Keith Williams is the bear hug guy. Got him bear hugged. And he throws him to the ground. You'll not go in there. And this is John Burns. This is John Burns. I know some of this you're going to say I heard yesterday, but I'm putting it together and I have some new information. So Keith Williams, Speaker of the House, John Burns, legal counsel as he calls himself, throws Colton Moore to the ground. Colton is arrested by the Capitol Police, not Fulton County, the Capitol Police, because it happened in the Capitol. They have the authority. All right, so that's January 16th. Now, apparently the next day, now this could be a coinkydink, but the very next day, Burt Jones goes in to John Burns' office, and he comes out and he makes a statement. We played it live. Remember that, Diane? We played it live the next day. And Burt Jones in the country, we call it in the South, bowed up a little bit. He bowed up a little bit up there, the lieutenant governor, and he made it sound like he went in there and he set John Burns straight. And he said, this ends and ends now. And, you know, when we have a joint session, you better let him come on the floor. Now, that's not quote, but paraphrase and go watch for yourself. Well, let me tell you something. John Burns didn't take to that very well. Burt Jones is campaigning for governor. Now, this is my opinion. I'll show you. So now in comes Riley Gaines, number 2. All right. Now they have SB. Remember, that's January 16th. Boom. So you have Frontline. Now, yesterday, Frontline did not congratulate the Senate. They didn't. I didn't see Frontline congratulate the Senate. But the Senate had their bill out first, protecting girls' sports, SB 1. So then comes Riley Gaines, 92, and rumor is that Riley Gaines wanted her name, or they wanted to put Riley Gaines' name on SB 1. And Senate said no, or this is a storybook time. Senate said no. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll see what they think across the hall at the House of Representatives in Georgia. So this is on January 30th, after the Colton Moore incident, we'll call it. Riley Gaines is the lead speaker, headline speaker at Frontline. Run to Win Conference, 1 Corinthians 9:24. Is that 9:24? Frontline, right? Cole. Who else is a guest speaker there that night? Number 93. Number 93. John Burns. Guess what? John Burns, this is a guy that didn't give a rat's. This is a guy that pushed back a couple years ago against the state Senate. I mean, when the state Senate, some state senators a couple years ago wanted to stop, a couple state senators a couple years ago wanted to stop boys from playing in girls' sports in Georgia. This guy right here, sources say, you know, the floats around the rumor mill, that he said it's dead on arrival. It's not going to pass the House. But he had a change of heart that night. His heart grew 10 sizes larger that night once he stood there. And guess what he did? He went to the House of Representatives, number 89, and he put in place the Riley Gaines Act. I'm going somewhere with this. The Riley Gaines Act. That's what he put in place. Huh. Wow. Because men don't belong in women's sports. Now, he didn't think that 2 years ago. That didn't cross his mind last year, year before last. That really hasn't struck a chord with it. But now, when President Trump says, I'm going to sign it. Now, when President Trump campaigns, it's going to stop. Now, when the Senate, and maybe John Burns does not like Burt Jones very much. Maybe John Burns does not want Burt Jones to be the next governor. Now, he is hard. These people are corrupt as hell, man. I wish they would try to hide this. So he comes up with the Riley-Gaines Act. And as you know, 97, as you know, your host right here, I was there. I was there the other day, took the picture, and here it is. The House version, HB 267, Riley-Gaines Act. Bam. Now, the Riley-Gaines Act, here is something that's interesting I want you to tie together. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. The Riley-Gaines Act, here is something that I want you to look at. The third down. The third signer down as a sponsor is Will Wade, the 9th District House Representative Will Wade. Now, Will Wade has his own aspirations. He has grand illusions, because I will try to help stop it. I do not want to see him get elected, but I think he has grand illusions of being a state senator one day in my district. So this could be helpful if he goes around my district as a state senator, and if a district that I live in, State Senate 51, becomes available, he might be able to go around and say, well, I am a sponsor of, protecting girls' sports. That could be one thing. And then there's the other thing you got to look for. Because I do this. This is what I do. When I look at the sponsors, I start going, why? Well, I also have a cheap cigar. Why? Well, Will Wade is also Governor Brian Kemp's. Drum roll, please. Diane, I want a damn drum roll. Anyhow, Will Wade is also Governor Brian Kemp, the House floor leader. So what that means is Brian Kemp sends word to Will Wade, his office, his staff, of what they will sign and not sign and what bills to carry for the governor. Does that happen? Yes. So Will Wade signing on to this has about 5 different check marks. But here's another twist. Oh, I love politics. Here's another twist. I understand. Well, it's just actions speak louder than words, that Brian Kemp and Marty Kemp may not even want Burt Jones to be the next governor. Why, this could really be a campaign issue. Man, if it showed up on flyers and it showed up on commercials and Burt Jones put SB 1 on the floor and protected girls' sports and, and is also endorsed by Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. But what if we pull that? What if we give that major win to the House and jerk it out from under Burt Jones? See, Will Wade is a sponsor on the Riley-Gaines. All right, going back. Are we having fun yet? Now, so we have SB, ready? And never ask me how I do this. I don't know. I really don't. 79, I don't know. I'm wired different. All right. Yeah. Okay. You get your laughter over with now. All right. So number 79. Now, so yesterday, so the other day I was at the Capitol. What was it, Diane? Tuesday. I'm at the Capitol Tuesday. John Burns rushes out in front. Riley Gaines, Cole, whatever his name, Frontline is there. And then they go up to the Capitol. Riley Gaines is there with President Trump. And Burt Jones gets his picture, number 95. Now, he's at the Capitol. This is a picture of the lieutenant governor at the Capitol Wednesday, the next day. All right, thank you, President. And he's with Riley Gaines, and he's got the executive order protecting girls' sports. Executive order protecting girls' sports. I look forward to the Georgia Senate joining the administration and joining the administration SB 1, but they didn't name it the Riley Gaines Act. And I understand that they were determined they're not naming it after her. So I just say it. So that is Wednesday, okay? Tuesday, the House introduces theirs. Wednesday, give me number 94. Both of them fly up to D.C. These people are crazy as hell. And there it is. Grateful for the president leadership to protect the integrity of girls' sports. We're looking forward to codifying these protections with in Georgia with the Riley Gaines Act. I feel like the Home Alone kid, right? So Burns can't wait to support President Trump with the Riley Gaines Act. Burt Jones can't wait to support Donald Trump with SB 1. Wonder which one the governor will sign. Maybe the one that has Will Wade's name on it. Now, wait a minute. Whoa. So ready? You ready? All right, so we're going to take another step. So they rush home yesterday. Today is Friday. So that was Tuesday. John Burns throws his out. Wednesday, they go to D.C. Thursday, SB 1 is put on the floor to vote. Now, I supported SB 1 for a reason. I told you to tell your senators to vote 1 because I will tell you this. In the state of Georgia, the closest thing we have to conservatives, it is the state Senate. When I say closest, I didn't call them conservatives, but it's the closest. The governor's mansion, the executive office over there, no. John Burns is a Democrat, period, over in the House. So I did say, tell your senators to vote, but they come back Wednesday and immediately SB 1, right? SB 1 is on the floor, number 79. And it passes, right? SB 1, Georgia Senate approves bill banning trans girls, women from female sports. Now, this changes something. It's 35-17. Republicans only have in Georgia 33 state senators, so 2 Democrats voted for it. And it does change a little bit because they passed it first. Now, we'll get to this in a minute because the House will pass theirs, and when they pass theirs, it'll be which version will get hacked up, because will the Senate version go over to the House and get pushed into the House bill that will still be called the Riley Gaines, or will the House bill go over to the Senate and get pushed into the Senate bill and be called SB 1, and the governor signed that one? That would still give Burt Jones a win. That's a question. So, Diane, give me video. Wow. Give me video. Where the hell's my videos? I have one from yesterday. Don't get upset with me. Can you pull in video 12 from yesterday without yelling or pulling your hair out or something? And for today, I have it here. Where the heck do I have it? Can you give me video, was it 19? I think it's video 19. Can you give me that one?
Hey everybody, Burt Jones here, Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Georgia, with my good friend Greg Dolezal. We just passed Senate Bill 1. Senate Bill 1 is something that Senator Dolezal has been working on over a year and a half now on getting boys out of girls sports, making girls sports fair and competitive again. This is something that we worked on with the Trump administration. I was at the White House yesterday for the executive order that he signed. Senator Dolezal passed SB 1 here in the state of Georgia. Excited about the good work you've done, and congratulations.
Yeah, it's a great day, Governor. Thanks for your help on this issue. We passed this bill out of the Senate last year, weren't able to get it across the finish line. Look forward to sending this, and happy that we can send this today to our colleagues in the House. Look forward to them passing this piece of legislation so that we can ensure fair and safe athletic competitions for women all across the state of Georgia.
Why couldn't you get it across the finish line last year? Why? Why could you not get this across the finish line last year? Did Governor Kemp say, I won't sign it? Did John Burns say, I won't do any? What? Why? I want to know, and everybody wants to know why you couldn't get it across the finish line last year, but you did. You're getting it this year. Why? And thankfully, you're working with the president's support. So yesterday, they jump out in front. Now, they're working with the White House. God forbid they're working with the House or vice versa. Now we have Frontline, right? Do you have that video from yesterday? Can you roll that if you have it? Was that yesterday's video 12? I'm sorry, Diane, if you don't have...
Hey, I'm here with Coach Nicio and the entire Frontline team. Run to win? Yes, sir. Hey, I'm excited about that, and we're excited about the work they're doing for good conservative causes, faith-based, all the things that are important to Georgians that we embrace in the House, and certainly I embrace, and I'm really looking forward to the partnership working together. Thanks, Cole. I appreciate you and all the team you work with.
You too.
Call on me.
It's an honor representing a 180-member House. Y'all do some great things. I really appreciate all the work that you do. We have 40 legislative days. You're working to maximize those, do great things like saving girls' sports, make sure that we continue to protect our kids. Thank you for the work that you do. We're praying for you, and we encourage every Georgian to do the same. Thank you for your leadership.
We got some work to do, but we're going to get to that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Frontline, Cole. But then you go over to the House, you got number 91. You go from the House to the Senate, and you've got Georgia Faith and Freedom Coalition. The Georgia State Senate is scheduled to consider SB 1 tomorrow. They're pushing that. Now, Frontline, a Christian organization, I'll throw it out there. I'm not going to fight with them. They don't like me. They'll say, oh, that's not true. But these people don't like me. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. Okay. I'm redeemed by the blood, but they don't like me, and Frontline don't like me. They don't speak to me. I've been to events. They wouldn't even shake my hand, look my way. Either one of them. So nobody gets a kudos here from me. But anyhow, they are apparently a Christian organization, and they're over here. And, well, wait a minute. I can't say it. That could be a denominational split, and then Frontline's over here. So now I know that there's a battle, and I have a feeling that what's going to happen on this is John Burns, the Speaker of the House, is going to win the battle. This is my feeling, and Governor Kemp is going to sign the House bill with Riley Gaines' name on it next to John Burns. I'm not for sure Burt will be there. If he will be, he'll be signing the House bill. That's my opinion, and he will pull that out from under Burt Jones to campaign on, is my thoughts. So here's one you can't make this up. Now this guy likes President Trump, 103. Sorry about the coughing in your ear. Thanks, President of the United States, for protecting women's sports. We led the fight here in Georgia challenging Biden's nonsensical agenda, and we won. Did you really? Proud to stand with President Trump for women's sports. Why, hell, you say. Chris Carr, the Attorney General of Georgia, now they talk about protecting women's sports. I'm good with that. Now, I am all about protecting women's sports. I get it. I've told you this before. I have 1, 2, let me count them, 1, 2, 3, soon to be 4 granddaughters. Yes, one on the way. Granddaughters. And I have 1, 2, 3 that are in women, young girls, activities that need to be just young girls. Period. I mean, this is not a co-ed pickleball team, all right? Just saying. So, but they talk about this, but Chris Carr settled a lawsuit. And what I'd like to see is some legislation instead of tort reform or put that behind. I'd like to see some legislation that would stop the taxpayers of Georgia for having to pay for transitioning surgery or transitioning, right? Gender affirming care for state employees or members of our state prison system. Check it out for yourself. And that's due to him. They don't want to talk about it. Now, all of a sudden, this guy right here, this is the guy, Attorney General Chris Carr. Do not forget, we're not going to get long-winded on it. This guy had the ultimate power. Now, when I say report to, every attorney general in the state of Georgia, that is the top cop. All right? Go speak to your attorney general today. They will not be wearing the big one, but they'll be wearing a lapel pin, probably like mine, that is a star because they're actually law enforcement. Yes, an attorney general can bring charges at any time. So you have the state attorney general, and then I guess you have not 159s because you have districts. So, for example, I'm in the Appalachian Judicial District circuit, which means we have Pickens County, Fannin County, and Gilmer County at this time under our attorney general's office, right? Our AG or public or what's it called? Is it attorney general? Who do we have? DA, district attorney. Sorry, district attorney. I got it correct. So every district attorney in the state, in a roundabout way, report to him. What I mean is he had investigation, prosecutorial, look into, a look-see. He had everything he needed to review Fani Willis and Fani Willis's case against Donald Trump and others. He had everything. Never touched it. Never. He had everything he needed as far as authorities, right? As far as authorities, this man here, this protecting girls' sports, wanting to be the next governor, he had every single authority to look at the 2020 election. Never touched it. This guy right here, the attorney general, which was he represents all of the constitutional officers. Remember Brad Raffensperger and this guy here, Judge Brian Amiro, right? The case down there, this guy right here. All of a sudden, Judge Brian Amiro said, you don't have standing. Wait a minute. This guy here. Last but not least, this guy here has been investigating me for 7 years now. 7, 8 years. He can't give up. Him and Brad, right? Had all the authority. Now he wants to come out and say, now they like the Trumpster. And here's another thing, 104. Gangs, cartels, he knows this. This is Chris Carr. He wants to be the next governor of Georgia. Attorney General Chris Carr, today we announced Operation Hold the Line to target transitional gangs in Georgia. When was that? That was 18 hours ago. I don't have the bottom of that. I think the date, well, I know the date was yesterday because I just got, well, hell. Announced Operational Hold the Line to target transitional gangs in Georgia. My message to these gangs is clear. Georgia is not or will never be a safe haven for violent criminals. We will track you down, prosecute you, and dismantle your operation unless State Senator from the 53rd District, Colton Moore, goes to the Atlanta airport in the middle of the night and videos NGOs and flights of illegals coming in. Unless that happens, unless State Senator Colton Moore asks to have a meeting with me, show me the evidence, and have it reviewed. Unless that happens, he does want to be the next governor. Really? Cartels operating in our backyard, and this guy. And there's John Barnes. We always had. He's a number 105. So I've got to wrap up here. I've got 9 minutes. John Burns, it was an honor to welcome the men and women of the Georgia Guard to the Capitol today. Well, thank you, John. Thank you. Thank you, John. All right. So now let's twist things around. In the deep end, 84, right? 84, girls sport. SB1 is passed. All right. We will dig into that later. In the deep end, former UPenn athlete Sue. Now this is Leah Thomas, and what is exciting is after Donald Trump. Now a lot of these organizations have just been waiting for somebody to come forward and stop all this nonsense, because you have the Biden administration. If you don't do or you don't participate in DEI, if you don't participate in this, the funding, you see how fast funding changes their mind one way or the other. Number 38. Now, after Donald Trump did this, protecting girls sport, the NCAA came out with their statement and said, no more biological boys and girls sports in the NCAA. Absolutely not. And this is one that I really like. I hope I got it. Give me number 101. This is here in Georgia, and then we will move. All right. This is 101 here in Georgia. Georgia Tech is ending programs and eliminating websites that promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. A spokesperson confirmed to Fox 5. Georgia Tech. I like it. All right, so yesterday, and we're going to get out. What else do I have? Let's go ahead with let's see, what do we have here? Oh, we'll go right down the line, Diane. Number 80. Now, this one's a little interesting as a closer because I've got to make some phone calls on this. I made phone calls on this at 6:30 in the morning and said, hey, you got to get me some intel on this. Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't rule out run for governor or U.S. Senate. So the AJC has this talk thing called Politically Georgia, and they won't let me anywhere near it. And the Republicans run for it here in Georgia. They absolutely run for it. Now, I'm going to make a statement some will not like. So it's nothing new. The AJC, and I have proof. The AJC is trying to normalize Marjorie Taylor Greene. Well, I like MTG. She's normal to me. All right, okay. Not really up in Buckhead. Huh, right? The AJC has been working to try to normalize Marjorie Taylor Greene. The AJC wants Marjorie Taylor Greene to make that step. Now, if Marjorie Taylor Greene made a step to run for governor or Senate, she could possibly win the primary. She could. But my prediction is this morning, as I close up for the weekend, she cannot win a statewide race. She cannot. I doubt she can win a statewide race, period. And that would be the AJC's ultimate goal. Ultimate goal. Normalize her, act like we like her, not attack her, get her on that general ballot. Boom! So watch this. So yesterday, MTG doesn't rule it out. She runs to it. They all run to the AJC. Oh, my God. I've always said, have you ever heard me say one of my favorite days is when Republicans think the media likes them? So here's number 81. Her interest in the U.S. Senate raises the intrigue around the race that is sure to be one of the most closely watched in 2026, as Republicans seek to retake the seat that contributed to their losing the majority in 2021. Okay? Now, I do understand from the AJC, if you got Marjorie Taylor Greene and she's in Georgia, you got to throw that out there. Hey, are you looking at a statewide run? 82. My sincere apology, 82. I'm getting too wound up. I have water over here. State and national Republicans are pressuring. Now, look at this one here. State and national Republicans are pressuring Governor Brian Kemp to challenge Ossoff. Greene offered praise for the term-limited Republican who had a sometimes rocky relationship with Donald Trump. MTG offered praise for Governor Kemp. I think Governor Kemp would be a very solid candidate, she said. Wow. While the GOP race for governor is expected to feature a head-to-head matchup between Attorney General Chris Carr and Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. No. I think it's way too early to call this a head-to-head matchup between these two. And I'll tell you what. The Republican field for Senate contest is wide open if Kemp decides against running. Beyond Greene, the other potential Senate candidates are Buddy Carter, St. Simon Island, 1st District. I wonder if that would bring the red lipstick. The lady wears. I wonder if that would bring her out. She's in the 1st District. Buddy Carter, I do know he has floated a Senate race in the past. Mike Collins, why hell? Congressman Mike Collins seems to be showing up everywhere. Why hell? Congressman Mike Collins had bipartisan support, and he is the one that put forward the Laken Riley Act. Why hell? Mike Collins could be setting himself up. That's a big one. Pay attention. I think Mike Collins is a big one. Insurance Commissioner John King and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger for Senate. I thought Raffensperger wanted to be governor. Now, moving right along, because we got 2 minutes to launch. All right. So here's the thought I have. I predict, that's all I can say. Something in my gut says that Brian Kemp is looking for, Governor Brian Kemp is looking for someone to challenge Burt Jones. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Governor Brian Kemp is looking for that candidate now. And I think there's some names out there that are floated out. And I think if that candidate came available, they would have come forward, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I think if the candidate would come forward, they'd also have money to work with. That's what I think. I think so. Because remember a couple of weeks ago, whatever, Brian Kemp retweeted something from Attorney General Chris Carr. And the reason I bring that up, when he retweeted Chris Carr, I said to myself, retweet, what does that say? It was a direct message to Burt Jones. Look, I'm not telling you I support this guy, but I'm not supporting you. I'm telling you, everything's a message. Everything's a message. You should send me a damn donation so I can up my cigar from not cheap cigar to where I could enjoy this pondering I do. Last but not least, 83. We're going to look at the budget this weekend. Please, could someone out there look at the Georgia State budget for me, the mid-year and the last year? Could you start working on that and get it to me? So, number 83, take a breath. Georgia voters okayed a statewide property tax break in November, but that doesn't mean everyone will benefit. Local governments whose budget rely on property tax can opt out. Now the AJC writes this article, can opt out of the tax break, and many are rushing to do so. That includes some of the state's largest school districts in Metro Atlanta. Republicans are dismayed that more local governments aren't giving the tax break a chance. But local leaders are feeling pressured. Who are they feeling pressured by? They have to opt out by March 1st or else hold their peace. That could change. A bill moving in the state legislature is wrong. It's wrong to change the opt-out date. They're opting out. Now, here's my close. It's 11:01. I heard them talking about USAID, and they even through the long Hail Mary pass that you may not even have firefighters. Why, this could cause you not to have firefighters out in California. So keep in mind, every time, I want to close with this, everything, this is not going to be popular, but, why not? Everything the President of the United States is doing, every single worthless penny that is being stolen, used in just the most horrendous ways, NGOs, right, that we talked about, USAID, funding NGOs that have aunts, uncles, and certain people on the payroll. That is happening in your state. That is happening in your county. That is happening in your city, wherever you may be. Not just Washington, D.C. So if you think your state budgets, your county budgets, and all of them cannot have a little Doge AI run through and find the waste and cut the budget, but not services, because the very first thing they'll all look at you and say, what services do you want to cut? A fire truck? Hey, Donald Trump's doing it. Not caring. He's sending them home. Well, we got 422 people in our municipality employees. Do you know what that would do? I don't know. Roll the dice. Diane, I'll see you Monday morning. Don't get in any trouble, Diane. Don't. Just saying. I'm just saying that. Diane doesn't get in trouble. But you never know. Then there's me. I'll see you Monday.
right, sorry for the delay. I was going to do something one way and then I decided not to. So there's a lot of talk of USAID. I don't trust everybody that's up there in D.C., but Senator Kennedy said something that I think we all can agree with, and I wanted to play that for you. I don't know that he's not wrapped up in some of the payments. Don't know that for sure because he's done some things that are questionable for sure, but at least he's saying the right words. So I'm going to go ahead and play this statement. I hope y'all enjoy it, and we'll see you Monday morning at 8 a.m.
Mr. President.
Senator from Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. President. I yield 30 minutes of my post-cloture debate time on the vote nomination to Senator Merkley and 30 minutes of my post-cloture debate time on the vote nomination to Senator Schumer.
The senator has that right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. President.
The senator from Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I have 8 requests for committees to meet during today's session of the Senate. They have the approval of the majority and minority leaders.
Duly noted.
Thank you, Mr. President. With me today is one of my colleagues from my Senate office, Mr. James Shea. He is one of my right-hand people and does great work, and I'm honored that he could join me today. Gosh, I don't know where to begin. I've been in the Senate for 8 years. In dog years, that's 56 years. And it feels like 56 years. I've learned a lot, met a lot of interesting people. You know, before I got here, everybody told me about the Washington bubble. And I said, how serious could they be? Well, it's true. There is a Washington bubble. This place is different. It's in its own way, sometimes disappointing, sometimes refreshing. It is deeply weird. For one thing, common sense is illegal in Washington. It's illegal. For another thing, I've discovered that this is a town of very frustrated ex-class presidents. And there's a Washington way of doing things. And when things aren't done that way, when somebody challenges the status quo, many, not all, but many of these frustrated ex-class presidents in Washington, on the Hill and otherwise, they get excited, not in a good way. They can't get their mind around doing anything other than the Washington way. Some of them, particularly in the media, they go almost catatonic, or the exact opposite. They foam at the mouth, and they really get upset. They can make a Valium nervous. It's like the world, we're not doing things the way we've always done them, and the world's going to spin off its axis. I want to try to put in perspective what many of my Democratic friends have been talking about today. They're very, very, very upset at President Trump. And they're very, very, very upset at Elon Musk. President Trump ran for president on a number of issues. One of the issues he ran on, He said it almost every day. He said, if you elect me president, I'm going to go through the entire budget and review all the spending, line by line. If I heard him say that once, I heard him say it 1,000 times. And that's what he's been doing. He went out and appointed, through an executive order, Elon Musk, who some people like him, some don't, but he's not a dummy. He's a very successful business person. He's got a top secret security clearance. President Trump issued an executive order, and he turned to Mr. Musk, and he said, Mr. Musk, I want you to do for me what I said I was going to do in the election. I want you to go through all the spending, line by line. Now, let me ask you something, Mr. President. How are you going to review the spending?
There's one single video that's responsible for leading over 2,000 Christian men to permanently quitting the P word. And this video that I'm going to share with you in a second has been creating waves on social media and sparked a movement of men stepping up and breaking free from the chains of the secret life they've been living behind closed doors. So here's the deal. If you click on the link somewhere on this page, you're going to be able to watch that very same
without reviewing the spending. How are you going to audit the spending by an agency without auditing the agency? That's what I mean when I say common sense is illegal in Washington, D.C. That's what Mr. Musk is doing. He's put together a crackerjack team, and they're going through everybody's spending line by line, item by item. And my Democratic colleagues are very, very, very upset. And they've been very eloquent. They've talked about the process, and President Trump's executive order supposedly violates the Constitution. And they've accused Mr. Musk of having conflicts of interest. And so I've heard people say he's sitting over there with a notepad, copying down everybody's Social Security number, and he's going to go use it to make money. I mean, people in this town, not just my Democratic colleagues, they're really upset. They've never said anybody question their spending. But that's what Mr. Musk is doing. But you know, I've listened. This has been going on for a week. People have been screaming like they're part of a prison riot. Oh, my God, look at what Musk is doing. He's looking at the spending. And I've listened to people talk about the process and debate whether it's constitutional and discuss how many lawyers can dance on the head of a pin. But you know what? I haven't heard one single person who's upset with President Trump or Mr. Musk talk about what he's found. They don't want to talk about the spending porn, the waste of taxpayer money that he's found. I mean, that's the point of all this. I tell you who is interested. The American people. The people in America who get up every day and go to work and obey the law and pay their taxes and try to educate their kids and try to do the right thing by their kids and try to save a little money for retirement, and have had to live through 20% inflation under President Biden. They understand what Musk is doing. They understand spending porn and wasting taxpayer money. Now, Mr. Musk started with the USAID. That handles a lot of foreign aid for America. American people are very generous. In our country, you know, when you're homeless, we'll house you. When you're hungry, we'll feed you. In our country, when you're too poor to be sick, we'll pay for your doctor. And we send a lot of money overseas to help our world's neighbors. And the USAID is in charge, in large part, of that. But I'll tell you what Mr. Musk discovered. I find it fascinating. He discovered that the American taxpayers are giving money to Afghanistan. He found that we are giving money to Yemen. He found that we are giving money to Syria. I didn't know that. Some of our foreign aid is going to Yemen, Afghanistan, Syria. He found that the USAID has 10,000 people. 10,000 people, employees. And every year they give away $40 billion. Mr. Musk also found, and I'm not saying that all of this money is wasteful. I'm not. Some of this money, I'm sure, does some good. That's why Secretary Rubio is going to revamp the department and separate the good from the bad. But this is the kind of stuff Mr. Musk found. He found that the USAID gave money to support electric vehicles in Vietnam. Our money, taxpayer money. He found that USAID gave money to a transgender clinic in India. I didn't know that. I bet you the American people didn't know that. He found that the USAID gave $1.5 million to a Serbian LGBTQ group called Grupa Izladaji. I probably mispronounced that. My apologies. Anyway, they got $1.5 million to, quote, advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities.
Most people have no clue that in 2024, the best way to make money with Amazon is not with physical.
What else did Mr. Musk found that my colleagues don't want to talk about? Well, he reviewed a study and then went and checked it. The study was done by the Middle East Forum. They found that USAID spent $164 million to support radical organizations around the world. We're not talking Cub Scout troops here. We're talking about radical organizations around the world. They gave $122 million of that to groups aligned with foreign terrorist organizations. Our taxpayer money. According to this report in Mr. Musk, the USAID has given millions of dollars to, quote, organizations in Gaza controlled by Hamas. Why aren't my colleagues talking about that? Recipients of the money, they found, have, quote, called for their lands to be cleansed from the impurity of Jews. That's what we're giving foreign aid to. What else? I'm not going to spend my whole time talking about this, but nobody else is talking about it. They're just talking about the process. And Mr. Musk, and he's a mean guy, and he shouldn't be looking at our spending. Well, he is. And I kind of find what he's found out interesting. He found that we gave $2 million, USAID did, for sex changes in Guatemala. He found that we gave $20 million to produce a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. He found that we gave $4.5 million of taxpayer money to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. He found that we gave $10 million, USAID did, of meals to an al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group called the Nusra Front. Mr. Musk found that we gave $7.9 million of taxpayer money to a project that would teach Sri Lankan journalists to avoid binary gendered language. The USAID took $8 million and gave it to a bunch of journalists in Sri Lanka to teach them how to avoid binary gendered language. I don't know what the hell binary gendered language is. I think I do. You think most taxpayers would support that? Why aren't we talking about that? The USAID gave $1.5 million to promote LGBT advocacy in Jamaica. They gave $1.5 million to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem. They gave $1.5 million for, quote, art for inclusion of people with disabilities in Belarus. Another $3.9 million for LGBT causes in Macedonia. $8.3 million for equity and inclusion education in Nepal. I could go all night. And many of my colleagues are upset. They're really mad at Mr. Musk. Hell, I think we ought to give him a medal. All he's doing is what President Trump said he was going to do. President Trump said he's going to audit the spending. So Trump goes and hires Musk, again with the top secret security clearance. Nobody can quibble with his intelligence. You know, the guy's as smart as Einstein's cousin. He's a very successful businessman. Some say he's the richest guy in the world. And he's doing the auditing. And, man, he's finding a lot of stuff. I call it spending porn. Now, I'm not saying everything that USAID does is wasted. But I'm saying a lot of it is. A hell of a lot of it is. And we ought to be on the floor of this United States Senate thanking Mr. Musk. And we ought to be asking him to go through every agency and look at everybody's budget. Everybody's budget. That's what the American people want. They don't want to talk about process. They don't want to continue with the Washington way. They want to save some money. Now, let me tell you what's really going on here, too, Mr. President. For 4 years under President Biden, and for, 8 years under President Obama, and I respect both of them. I don't hate anybody. I don't. When I say my prayers at night, one of the things I ask God, God, don't let me hate, because it's hard in Washington. Don't let me hate. I have all the respect in the world for President Biden and President Obama. Tough job. But between them, they spent 12 years in Washington. And presidents set the tone. They control the questions that are asked. And here's the question that President Obama and President Biden asked for 8 years. I heard it for 12 years. I heard it every single day. Who needs to pay more in taxes? Is it you? Is it you? Who needs to pay more in taxes? We need more money. Who needs to pony up more? That was the issue.
As long as you know how to set this strange device up, you can generate endless amounts.
But that's not the issue today. We have a new president. You know what the issue is today? What the hell happened to all the money? What the hell happened to all the money? And that's what Mr. Musk is finding out. That's all this is about. And I'm just shocked that my colleagues have decided that this is a hill they're going to die on. How can you look the American people in the eye and support this kind of waste? Support this kind of spending porn? I mean, the election to me made at least one thing clear. That the American people are sick and tired of people in Washington denying reality. The last administration tried to convince us that we were living in a crime-free world where inflation was temporary and the border was secure. And the American people didn't buy it. You know why? Because it wasn't true. And the administration, our last administration, tried to argue that Bidenomics was making our lives better. But the American people knew differently. They understood Bidenomics to mean I get to spend more to live worse. And they voted. Now, I mean, the American people were poorer under the last administration, but they didn't become stupid. They could see that the government was creating a problem, not trying to fix it. And they noticed the national debt, too. Put up that first chart for me. You know what our national debt is, Mr. President? $36 trillion. Not million, not billion. $36 trillion. It takes my breath away. Highest it's ever been, over 100% of our gross domestic product. Our debt's growing faster than our economy. And we toss around these numbers, 1 trillion, 1 billion, 1 million, 1 squillion, like it's nothing. I want to try to put this in context. If I started counting right now, and I counted one numeral, if you will, per second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I kept counting all day and all night. I didn't sleep. I counted between bites of oatmeal at breakfast. I just counted continually. One numeral per second. It would take me 32 years to count to 1 billion. 32 years to count to 1 billion. It would be 2057. I'd be dead as Woodrow Wilson. I wouldn't live that long. And that's just $1 billion. Our debt's $36 trillion. You know how long it would take me to count to 1 trillion? 31,000 years, if I counted one numeral per second. About as old as Chuck Grassley. 31,000 years. It would take me 1 million years to count to 36 trillion. Those are the kind of numbers we're talking about. And the American people understand it. Since 2019, America's population has grown 2%. We're not having babies. 2%. And that's after massive immigration. You know how much our budget has grown? 55%. 55%. Yeah, we've had inflation. But we hadn't had 55% worth of inflation. That's how we got to this $36 trillion in debt. Put up the next chart for me. Now, some of this money we had to spend during the pandemic. And it was a bipartisan effort during the pandemic. Republicans voted for it, and Democrats voted for it, because we had no choice. I was there. I saw it from the inside. We came this close to losing the American economy. And you know who helped a lot, doesn't get enough credit? Jay Powell at the Federal Reserve. I watched it. The whole world wanted to go into a cave and retreat. Back in the Great Recession, I remember all the other countries in the world who looked to us. They may hate us, but they know we're the greatest country in all of human history. They looked to America. And you know what? Back in the Great Recession, all the other countries wanted they wanted treasuries, treasury notes, treasury bonds. Not this time. They were so scared they didn't want treasuries. They wanted dollars, cash dollars. So Jay Powell, thank thank the Lord, he goes over to the Federal Reserve. He opens what's called a currency swap line, and he told every country, you want dollars? I'll trade your dollars for your currency. And everything calmed down. He doesn't get any credit for that. But it was a gutsy thing to do. But on top of that, to save the American economy, that wasn't helping the American economy. We had to keep the economy going. We spent a lot of money. But then COVID ended. And what we should have done was go back to pre-COVID spending. But we didn't do that. President Biden, after the shutdowns and the coronavirus, the pandemic was over, passed the American Rescue Plan. COVID was over. He spent $1.9 trillion. Never let a good crisis go to waste. I didn't vote for it. Then he came back and passed what he called an infrastructure bill. It was really just the Green New Deal. I know what's in that bill. That was another $1.2 trillion. And then he passed the Inflation Reduction Act. I didn't vote for it. But that was another $1.0 trillion. And then he passed the CHIPS Act. This is really special. He said, big tech, the semiconductor companies need our money. They need taxpayer money. They're not making enough money. And he gave them money. He didn't give hardware stores money. President Biden didn't give the healthcare industry money. He said, I want to help big tech. And boy, they sucked it up like a Hoover Deluxe.
Watch what 3 surprising foods do to your waistline.
Throw the white bread away.
We spent $280 billion subsidizing big tech. And you add it all up, and that's almost $4.5 trillion. And that's how we got $36 trillion in debt. And that's why Donald Trump said, I'm going to look at every single line item of spending. And that's why he gave the job to Elon Musk. And that's why Musk is auditing these accounts. But nobody wants to talk about what he's finding. Nobody wants to talk about the spending porn. Except the American people. They get it, Mr. President. They get it. And I hope Mr. Musk continues. My colleague and friend, we had a little discussion in banking today. Senator Warner makes a good point. He wants Mr. Musk to come over and talk to Congress about how he's doing this. I'm all for that. I am all for that. I would love to have him come over and walk us through what he's doing and how he's discovering all this spending porn. We need all the help we can get on reducing our spending because we can't continue at this pace. I just wanted to spend a few minutes putting all this in perspective, Mr. President. The world's not going to spin off its axis, folks. Every business that I know of goes through an audit. Now we're being audited, but we're being audited by not by the usual auditors, but we're being audited by a person appointed by the President of the United States. And I'm betting you when he's through, and he's going to go to all these agencies. He's starting on the Department of Education next. I think he'll end up finding that some of our money is being well spent. But he's also going to find that some of our money is being stolen. And it's being wasted. And that's an insult to every taxpayer in this country. So I'm going to end like I began. We ought to be giving Mr. Musk a medal. We ought to be thanking him. Maybe nobody else wants to hear about the spending porn, but I can't wait to read the book. I hope he finds all of it and compiles it. I hope Marco Rubio, our new Secretary of State, takes USAID and shakes them by the shoulder and lifts up the good people there and fires the bad people, the people that wasted taxpayer money like this, giving money to terrorist organizations, giving money to organizations that support Hamas. Hope he gets rid of every single one of them. And I think if we listen to Mr. Musk, we can save a lot of money. And I hope he does come over and explain what he's doing. I want to talk about one other subject real quickly. I've talked about it before. I'm not going to repeat it. This is India. This is China, which wants to run the whole world. China's already trying to take over the shipping lanes in the South China Sea. This is the Chagos Islands, right down here. Years ago, the Chagos Islands were owned by France. France ceded the Chagos Islands to our friends in Great Britain, UK. And a number of years ago, the United Kingdom and America got together, and we built, mostly with American dollars, by the way, we built a military base in the Chagos Islands, on one particular island called Diego Garcia. And it's a really important military base. For one thing, it's very close to the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean in China, so we can watch them. For another thing, it's where it's one of the only bases where our nuclear submarines can dock. Hugely important. Well, the United Nations got mad at the United Kingdom. They said, Great Britain, you're bad people. You used to be colonialists. You acquired other countries, sometimes freely, sometimes by force. Every country I know of in the world of any strength has done that. Doesn't mean we ought to be proud of it, but it's part of our history. But the United Nations said, shame on you, UK. Shame on you. Bad, 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 bad. You have to give back the Chagos Islands and the military base there. And the UN doesn't have any jurisdiction over the United Kingdom. But the UN said, not only do you have to give it back, but you don't give it back to the people of the Chagos Islands. You give it back to another group of islands way down here called Mauritius. Mauritius used to own the Chagos Islands when France ceded them to Great Britain. They were run by Mauritius. But the people of the two island groups, archipelagos, the people don't have any affinity. Now, what's Mauritius say? Of course we'll take it. But they want to start charging the United States and the UK £9 billion for a 99-year lease.
The instant relief for snoring at home.
Hey, stop using these things for snoring.
This is what you're...
So we can lease our own military base. All because the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom feels guilty because somebody, some tofu-eating wokarati at the United Nations says they're bad people, bad colonialists. Well, and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, he's going along with it, but he says, I'm negotiating with Mauritius. And the people of the leader of Mauritius just issued a press release, said, yeah, he's negotiating. He's increased the price. And he's shortened the leash. Now, you know who's loving all of this? China. Because China has a close relationship with Mauritius. And you know what? It's going to get a lot closer. This is insane. This is cell deep stupid. This is bone deep down to the marrow stupid. Because the United Nations wants the United Kingdom to feel guilty, they want to give our military base and their military base to Mauritius. Now, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom can stop this. And Marco Rubio, our new Secretary of State, is against it. And I haven't talked to him directly, but I think President Trump is against it. The United Kingdom is our friend. I went to school there for a while. I love them. And I want to see the Prime Minister do well. But he needs to put down the bong. He needs to put down the bong. This makes absolutely no sense. And it's going to be a big part of his legacy if he gives away this island and our military base to, in effect, what will eventually be China. So I would say to the Prime Minister tonight, I don't mean any disrespect. I want to say this respectfully. I shouldn't have said the bong part. I take it back. Please, Mr. Prime Minister, don't do this. Don't do this. We'll stand with you in telling the United Nations who's upset with you to go fill out a hurt feelings report, because we're not doing it. We'll stand with you. Please say no. Don't give our military base away. It's going to really hurt the relationship between the United States of America and the United Kingdom. I know Donald Trump pretty well. I know Marco Rubio pretty well. They'll forgive, but they'll never, ever forget. Don't do it, Mr. Prime Minister. I've taken too much time. I'm sorry.